All right, so we called the 4 dumps, and then I feel like, it's like, fucking, like, I feel like, what is it? Stephen Curry just swishing shots, like, only one in the entire space, calling all 4 dumps. And then, we had that, somebody called me out in the last thing, and he's like, bro, like, you're accurate or whatever, but, like, tonight might not be your night. There's no way that we not bottoming. And he said, call it, bro. Contracts are about to drop. Contracts are about to drop. Call it, man. Are we done dropping? Are we not done dropping right now? Call this stuff right now on stream. I mean, I don't know what you want to call that. But ooh, baby. I mean, I would say, we hit that level perfect. And we came down. I mean, I don't know exactly how much you want to go with this, but I mean, if this candlestick closes, I mean, we're going to hit possibly this level right here, and we could hold this level right here, possibly. But to say the dump is over right at 46, we clutched that. We clutched that again. And I was telling my girlfriend, I was like, I feel like Kobe, just like, or Stephen, I feel like Stephen, just hitting these every single call, just swishing this. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. But this one, like this whole like call right here, I didn't have a pattern to work with. I didn't have anything to work with. I didn't have anything. Like, I'm calling these patterns. I'm calling the dumps. Anything like that. But you as a trader, you got to know what you can do, and you can't just call the price action every single second. Not a pattern, not a death cross, nothing technical really besides the resistance levels and the downtrending support and a lot of the key fundamentals behind that. And he's like, is it going up? Is it going down? It's going up, and baby. I felt like I was in the penalty box. And I was like, or not the penalty box. What's it called when they foul you? I don't even like sports. This is sports to me, which is like the nerdiest thing, but that's true. I felt like I was in the whatever you call it, and I'm like dribbling the ball, like doing. I feel like I just like made like fucking 4 swishes in a row. I'm in the whatever you call it. I don't even know what it's called. Like, I literally hate sports. I think sports are so stupid. But I'm dribbling the basketball, and I'm on the foul thing, whatever that's called. I'm ready to go to the 2-pointer. And it's like, all right, you already called 4 dumps, bro. You already called every single top. You already called every single bottom. Is it going to go up or is it going to go down? You don't have any patterns you're working with. Dribbling the ball. I'm like, it's going down. Fucking bucket swooshes on top of all the dumps that we already called, on top of all the bottoms we already called. Jeez. All right, well, anyways, we are doing good. Like I said before, this is going to be a quick update. I'm going to be doing a lot tomorrow. That was just like, oh my gosh, like, we have 118 subs. I literally love all my subs. I tell you guys, like, I am grateful for all my subs, but like, there's nobody in the space. There's nobody in the space that's gonna call it like I'm calling it. I mean, we could wick here. Like, let me just talk about this real quick. But you're gonna call me out like that. You're gonna call me out right on stream and say it might be your night, but not tonight's not your night. And like, come on, man. Come on. Don't play me like that when I got one of the best streaks in the entire industry. Don't play me like that. I mean, at the very least, we hit that dump right there. We hit that top. And straight up, baby. Straight up. That shit was, that's right, baby. I went up to my German Shepherd because my girlfriend was like, that guy was weird. He was saying like big dog and stuff. And went up to my German Shepherd and I'm like, yeah, I'm the big dog. But she thought that was funny. But so yeah, we're looking for a close right here. And then we're heading down, it looks like. If we do hit a close, anything relative to here, we would have to come up like something along maybe this area, maybe breach this area right here, and close like a 4-hour right here. It could happen. It doesn't look like that's the what's going to happen. There was a double bottom on the 15, and I was like, okay, there's a double bottom on the 15. It doesn't even look like, let me check my charts. It doesn't even look like the double bottom on the 15 ended up playing out. And so I'm like, oh, this is in the bag. Yeah, it didn't end up playing out. I'm like, this is in the bag. Like, when a double bottom on the 15 doesn't end up playing out, like, all that means is that, the Bears are in charge. And I said, I don't want to be bearish. I don't want to be any type of way. You guys know my price targets. I was gonna pull up some OG videos where I was like, this is the most underrated channel on the internet. Like, guys, please buy Cardano at 10 cents. I was gonna pull up some OG videos that I have on the channel, but I'll pull them up tomorrow to start out tomorrow's video. But I was so hyped because, like I said, I called every single dump on the entire industry, and then they put me up against a pattern that wasn't even a pattern. Like, you don't want to be cocky. You don't want to be cocky in trading. You don't want to be cocky with technical analysis, and there's limitations to technical analysis. And the fact that we still hit that, I mean, we called every single dump, baby. And like on top of that, but there's patterns and stuff. We're going off of the TA. There was no TA right here other than we had hit this area as resistance, and we were looking bearish, you know, on the trends and whatnot. And there was no signs of reversing out of that anytime soon. Baby. What do I say on this channel? I'm not trying to even roast that guy. Like, who cares? Who cares? You know, everybody knows, like, that, you know, I'm the top guy in the space, regardless of anything. I have the most accurate calls in the entire space on 118 subs. Let's go, baby. So, like, who cares? You know, like, there's no way he was going to hang with me. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, you know, I'm not giving him shade. I'm not doing anything. You know, he wouldn't be looking at my video if he had traded, you know, $500,000 this year in profits or whatever. So, but yeah, this was definitely a tough call to make because there's limitations to technical analysis, and I'm not telling anybody to short right here. You guys know I'm not like telling you guys to short. You know, you don't want to put yourself in a situation, but that last swish, you know. Contracts are calling. What are you calling? I'm calling bottom. I'm calling bottom. Let's go, baby. So, yeah, we're looking for the close right here. At this point, like I said before, these are moving averages. So, but, yeah, like, no shade to him. Like, who cares, you know? But we could hit this area, and then it's like I said before, you get this fractal idea of a lot of the price action is hitting these moving averages and constantly falling below them. So we could still get this fractal of falling below it. Right here we do have the price action, and it looks like, if we zoom in, I'm just kind of here to give you guys a little small update. I already shot for like 6 hours today, so like this isn't really like a huge like content video because I already shot like 6 hours worth of content today. And I'm really just hyped up. You guys know I get really hyped up, and sometimes I have to turn off the stream because we're just calling so much price action, and it really hypes me up. Like I said, I could care less about making another 10,000. Calling these calls on stream, oh my gosh, this stuff is ridiculous. Oh my gosh. I mean, I literally could care less about making another 10K. Another 10K doesn't mean anything to me. So, yeah. We could hit this area, and if we hit this area again, we're setting a lower low. It looks like, I mean, if we do consolidate at these levels, it really comes down to the 4 hour. As we hit another bearish close on the 4 hour, it looks like this should measure this move down to right here. Hitting this measured move right here would set this low, and then this would be a low. This would be a higher low, and then this would be a lower low, and it would confirm the downtrend on every single time frame. On the short to mid term, and then obviously we'd still have the long term, and then, you know, I'd be looking at price targets like this, and then 42,000 to 40,000 area, and then on the ETH, and I'd be cost base averaging in on those positions, you know, because I can't really tell you, like, I can't predict the future. There's a difference between, you know, being humble and knowing what you can do and what you can't do, and that's going to save you from getting wrecked, and you know, being cocky and being like, oh, I could predict the price action. Like I said, this was like I was dribbling the ball. This was like I got fouled. Like, they're going to call me out when there's no patterns, and I already called the dump, you know, and we're looking at the dump as is and taking it level by level like what we should be doing in TA, and they're telling me to read the freaking future, and somehow we nailed that freaking. That was nice. That was nice. But, so yeah, that got me hyped up. But, yeah, I mean, 40 to 42 on Bitcoin, and then people ask me about Ethereum, and I'm looking at maybe 1276 to 1208 is the areas that I was looking at. And again, like, we don't have to dump right here, But like, there's nothing that's saying we have to dump right here. But it looks like at this case, like if you would have opened a long position right here and you would have been like, oh, it's definitely the bottom, like you would have got liquidated again. Is like the point. So like this was not the bottom, and it's not as easy as it looks to call the bottom. But yeah, we told you it wasn't the bottom, and we do call the bottoms. But yeah, it looks like, like I said, this price action could hold. We could consolidate at these levels, bring this moving average up, and then if it was to hit this level and get a really strong bounce, yeah, that would be good. But we'll see what happens. But those are the targets I'm looking for. Let me see if I have any comments. Sorry that this video isn't like as informative. I've been recording all day. I think I put 6 hours worth of content out today, or at least 6 hours worth of content today. I streamed like 4 or 5 times today, and I was just like, yeah, I could go over XLM. Yeah, let me go over XLM. So like I always say on like XLMs, like specifically in like, these altcoins is, let's see, let's go over XLM. If Bitcoin keeps dumping, then just remember that XLM is most likely going to go down, and then it's one of those things where it just depends on the. So it looks like it had right here on the 4 hour, it looks like it had a double top that ended up playing out. It's most likely going to be a little overextended on that measured move. So you have your first top right here, you have your second top, you have price action coming from the bottom, and then we got our neckline. And yeah, and I did talk about this earlier. If you watched my stream earlier, I said that this is absolutely key, fundamental. And if we break that neckline, I'm pretty sure, I don't know, I'm pretty sure I did. That sounds like me. But if you look at the measured move on this, yeah, this was an absolutely substantial move. I think I covered this, yeah, earlier, that we were looking at this level and it was absolutely critical to hold. And it looks like we hit the measured move, and then we overextended the measured move on that. So that just is bearish, but because the price action is dropping, because Bitcoin has been dropping, that's something that we can expect. Right now we're consolidating in this area right here. Most likely, like if we do get a dump right here, we could potentially bounce this area, and then it really comes down to how substantial the dump is going to be on Bitcoin as to how these altcoins are going to perform. And usually, like if it's something really good like Cardano and it's really holding its value, or it's like Polkadot or something, whereas if you get a small coin that's like a little bit crappier, they're usually going to dump pretty massively. So XLM, a lot of people really like XLM, especially on this channel. So I mean, this is a very significant area right here. This is the 0.786 level, and the price action has confirmed that this is a significant level. Right here you have it as resistance, right here you flip it as support, and we have it on this trend base right here holding this trend. This is absolutely a significant area right here that we're looking at. And if we do hit the price action and then close below on the 4 hour on this chart right here, if we do hit this area right here and close below it, XLM is going to be bearish, completely completely reliant on this, how would you say it, completely reliant on this downtrend. With like, it would be a bearish, we'll see where it goes. These two have been absolutely massive, and these are going to be the trend base that you're going to be looking at. If you do a Fibonacci extension, the extension is going to move up. You would do a trend base to get a Fibonacci extension down. And so, I mean, we did hit our measured moves perfectly right here. So if we do have this measured move right here working perfectly, another target that we could see, it might be extremely unlikely to see, but because we hit this target perfectly with this Fibonacci extension right here, if we were to drop and we were to get some extreme bounce, something like this would be in the cards as maybe like, it just depends on how bullish this is. I don't do too much TA on this to like really know it in depth. Like I said, I just hold a little bit of it because it is my cross-border payment hedge as a diversification. You guys know my portfolio, and so to me, this is more so just like a small hold, but I definitely do cover it for you guys. So, I mean, I don't really know if it's going to come down to these levels. It doesn't look like there's any measured moves for this. There is this right here, which is, you could say, a top right here. This whole thing could be a top, and then this whole thing right here could also be a top. Like I said before, I was talking about it before, this right here is kind of like a substantial top. Like it's such a big top that you almost wouldn't want to measure this, but it's the same fundamentals of a neckline being right here and right here. So if this price action does break and we do end up breaking this area and closing below it, we could see like a measured move to at least the conservative target of whatever this is right here, at the very least. So that would bring us down into at least this Fibonacci extension. So we could see a Fibonacci extension, like we could hit this price target right here, we could hit this price target right here, and then we could hit this price target right here. Again, for my taste on XLM, and I've talked about this multiple times, I would be buying nothing probably right here, or extremely small amounts. And by the measure of these moves on these wicks, we could see it probably come down to this level and then potentially bounce, if not this level. I mean, if it did come to this level and I was looking to accumulate XLM and expand, you know, that hedge that I have in my portfolio to diversify, which I'm not looking to do. You guys know I'm like Cardano, looking to get some more Cardano on this dump, because I think this is going to be the last time to accumulate Cardano cheap before I have to start running a node, because it's not going to make sense for me to hold it long term. I mean, you can buy it at like $2 and it'll still probably do really well. It should perform really well, like at least another, you know, 2 or 3x from there, but conservatively. But I'm holding for the long term, and you know, once the so anyways, the reason I tell you that is because I always tell you guys the price action, but I also tell you my game plan, how I'm interpreting the game plan, what I'm doing. And I personally wouldn't be buying XLM unless it was coming down to like this level right here, maybe this level right here, maybe, and I would be looking to buy in small right here. If I got this opportunity and it was massive, maybe I would cost base average in a little bit higher right there. I'm not a financial advisor. This is just what I would do if I was looking at these charts. And then obviously we do have our measured moves, with the major moves being at 81 cents and 88 cents. It doesn't look like it's even close to there. Now, if you're looking at whether it's bearish, whether it's bullish, like I said, the macro factors are really going to be what you're looking at on these charts. And it needs to hold above here to remain bullish and consolidate. You could get a fractal idea where you come down here, find resistance, like it's found resistance multiple times, or find support, find support, right? It has multiple times right here, and then bounce. That is a possibility, but in general, going off the TA, if it does come down here, close, it's most likely going to. A lot of times, like this one was a wick right here, so you had a really strong wick right here, nice candlestick, close bullish, and it's just recovering from another dump. Is really what we were looking at. But so yeah, I do think that like this is definitely in the cards. I wouldn't really be accumulating right here, especially if we're going down 40 to 42. I would be looking something like that possibly in the cards. Definitely could see it going down to those levels if we do get the dump. So like I said, if we don't get the dump, whatever, you know, if there's macro factors, this is the key critical area that it needs to hold to remain at least in this consolidation pattern. You know, consolidating, like you have a little doji right there, that's basically a doji. This is basically a doji. Doji right there, and like the price action obviously came down because everything in the market's not doing well, because Bitcoin's not doing well. So I mean, you could consolidate at this level for quite a bit of time before breaking higher, as long as you don't break this level and break below the 4 hour. But if we do, it's shown that this could be a possible support area, but I wouldn't bank on it. All right. Let's go over BTC.D. I'm going to take a quick look at total, and then I'm going to go back to Bitcoin, and then ask me if you guys have any questions. So Bitcoin dominance, how's alt season doing? This is really significant right here. This is, you know, like we were talking about before, it's that consolidation. You know, you have like, it's not a morning star pattern, but it's that same idea of a morning star pattern. It looks like there wasn't enough momentum on volume to push this to the measured move, not even close. because this is a double bottom right here, and this would be the neckline. It doesn't look like it hit the neckline. It looks like right now is just kind of resting slightly below the neckline. It looks like we did hit this moving average right here. This is on the 4 hour. It looks like we did hit the 20. Oh, maybe not. It looks like, I don't know. It's hard to see. I thought we hit the 20. It looks like we might have hit the 100, or we're just glancing in between them. But either way, you know, it's just consolidating. You get this wick up, you get this wick down, you get the body right here, you get the body right here. It goes up, goes down, consolidating at these levels. We're looking at this right here. And it is possible for Bitcoin to lose money and for Bitcoin dominance to go up, because people can convert their currency into Bitcoin and then short Bitcoin. So when you think about Bitcoin dominance, you just have to think about, where's the attention? Is it mostly on Bitcoin? Is it mostly on altcoins? And how are they performing? So if people feel confident enough to short Bitcoin, they could take their money out of alts, put it into Bitcoin, but then use that Bitcoin as collateral to borrow money to open up short positions. Definitely in the cards. All right, so that kind of, you know, but right now we're looking at that. It looks like it's just consolidating, like what we were talking about earlier, and we're looking at those key critical areas that it hasn't hit yet. This is bearish right here. This is pretty bearish right here. You do have this measured move that we were looking at, but we already hit it multiple times. And there's no point to really have a measured move right here and then keep it open. So we had this measured move before, and it hit it right here, and then this was our measured move from today. So we can delete this right here. Really what we're looking at is this area right here, and this should be the bottom right there. So unless I'm missing something, but I'm pretty sure the bottom's right here. And then top should be right there. Yeah, it's pretty perfect. All right, so I mean, we can get a close right here. That's going to be bearish. That's going to that's going to totally validate this downtrend with no signs of reversal anytime soon. This is a relatively bearish candlestick. It is technically bearish engulfing. You would want to see less of a wick right here in a perfect scenario, and you would want to see you know, this wick right here fully engulfed the previous price action. Either way, it's a very bearish candlestick as it stands right here on the 4 hour. We'll see how it closes. This could take a lot of money out of cryptocurrency. Like I said, this is a self-fulfilling prophecy. We could conservatively hit this target right here. It really depends on how bearish of a close we get on this level. We could get a doji, maybe hit this area, consolidate, and then move lower, and possibly hit this area right here with a conservative close. If we get anything like a drop like what we're seeing, anything like where we're at right now, we could definitely hit this area, bounce, and then maybe test this moving average right here before hitting this measured move. I'll keep you guys updated on that, but that's what I'm looking at on total. What else did I say I was going to go over? I think that's it. Let me see the comments. Let me see what's going on with the boys. No comments. I told you guys, give me some comments. Like, not like comments, like ask me questions or whatever, like be like, yo, what's going on with this? I mean, I think I covered everything pretty good. I mean, we went over it for like 6 hours today at least, and we were in the trenches. I'm in the trenches with you guys. I'm not relaxing, you know, celebrating all my crypto success. I'm freaking in the trenches with you guys, helping you guys out, covering these dumps. We're killing it. So that's total. Let's go back to Bitcoin. I said I'd go back to Bitcoin. BTC.USD. Let's go to Bybit first, and then you guys know we have multiple charts on Bitcoin that we're always looking at. So, all right, so we covered that one already. I think you guys are bored of that one. So on this channel, it's like the most underrated channel on the internet. So obviously we cover multiple charts because, come on, I mean, it's not fully dumped, but we'll see how she does. It's looking bearish. I felt like Kobe on that thing. I felt like Kobe. Another bottom. How many bottoms is that today on this stream alone? Tell me in the comments. No, I'm just kidding. I don't want to be a savage because, like, it's not even savage. Like, I talk, but I back it up. I talk, but I back it up. And I like that a lot. I mean, you can talk, but if you're not going to back it up, like, it's just like... Alright, so this is a major Fibonacci area. We went over multiple times. We went over what this is. This is the 0.618 level on significant different moving average. Like when the price fluctuates between substantial critical swing lows and swing highs. Like I said, when it comes to being a technician and really understanding, where the price is going. Anybody can do technical analysis, but like hitting like perfect like Fibonacci retracement and really pulling key areas like this is really what's going to set you apart from everybody else and get that accurate TA. It looks like we might be getting a relatively bearish cross right here. This is going to take a little bit to play out, so we do need the price to either consolidate right here, or we need the price to drop down significantly lower. Either way, it looks like we could not, if we do like get a dip or if we do like wick this and then get like a hammerhead or a hammer pattern and then open like a really bullish close, like we could revert this idea. This is going to be pretty slow. What it looks like is going to happen from what I'm seeing right now is it looks like we're going to get this bearish candlestick close. Let's go to UTC time. This internet's being slow. I have like the best internet. I have my computer hooked up to my router, and I have an Ethernet cable straight from my router with unlimited Wi-Fi. Like, streaming takes a lot of energy. UTC time, yeah. Yo, give me some UTC time, baby. So everybody that supported me, I really appreciate it. I really do. We're absolutely killing it. We're absolutely killing it. So I appreciate all the love. We're just murking it. Everybody that was there supported me, my early subscribers. I mean, everybody is still an early subscriber. But, yeah, so it's 4 o'clock on this chart right here. And then it's about to be 7 o'clock. So it looks like we're an hour and 20 minutes away from this close. Anything could happen, really, what we're going to look at. Wi-Fi's being crap, but yeah, we're about an hour and 7 minutes away from this close right here. Like I said, I got the best Wi-Fi. It literally takes a lot to stream. I stream in 4K on the highest settings on OBS, but ask me questions though. Wow. So you buying Bitcoin at 42, baby? So I'm not buying Bitcoin. I have a lot of Bitcoin, and I'm just not looking to accumulate. And I'm always honest with you guys. And like one of the reasons I could spend like an hour literally on reason after reason why we're the best, but like most underrated, like whatever, coolest channel. But I'm not buying Bitcoin, and I'm just gonna be honest with you. Like, if you want to buy Bitcoin and you want to cost-based average in, like put a little bit below, like above 42, a little bit above, 40, like cost-based average into there, and then to 40. I went over it a little bbit earlier, but I'm just gonna be honest with you. Like, I'm gonna tell you exactly what I'm doing. I always do, and I feel like that's the exact information that you guys want out of me. Is like, okay, well, you're looking at these charts, and obviously you're out competing all these major channels. What are you doing? Like, you're looking at all these charts all day. You're interpreting the data. What are you doing? And for my strategy with my portfolio that my channel's been following for a long time, we already have major exposure to Bitcoin, Ethereum, and I did use so anyways, I'm buying Cardano right now. So like I'm personally, like, I'll be transparent with you. I'm personally not buying Bitcoin at 42,000, but if I was in the market for Bitcoin, I would probably buy at like those levels, like right above 42, like 5% above, a little bit above 5%, at, 5% at, and then like make that 25% of my buying power. And like I said, I even told you guys exactly what I do. I do like $204. So I'll do like $204, $204 cost-based average in. If it just depends. Like, it depends on the TA. It depends on the technical analysis. Like, sometimes like I can hit like exact bottoms. Like right now, like I said, I can't predict like the future, and I'm not gonna like lie to you guys and say that like the future bottom is 38,997. Like, I can't do that, and I'm not gonna lie to you guys. So right now, if I was to just like, look at the charts and look at the overall predictions, like anything could happen. One of these massive bearish candlesticks on the 4-hour could totally change the TA. And that's just facts. And if nobody covers that, nobody covers that, but that's just facts. So like my strategy right now is to go in like 42 to 40, like is what I would do if I was buying Bitcoin. I'm going to be getting into ADA, but as my last opportunity to buy ADA because I'm already heavily exposed to Bitcoin, and Coinbase is being annoying. They won't give me the liquidity on coins. I bought coins on Coinbase to do a BTC ADA comparative, and like, anyways. So I'm good on Bitcoin. I'm honestly good on Bitcoin. So I'm looking to just expose myself a little bit sharper to ADA as a hedge against Ethereum. Like what Big Boy talked about, I was literally thinking the exact same thing. Even though, we explained why Ethereum's not doing good on multiple different charts. So yeah, I would do like 5, 5, 5. And I showed you guys earlier. I can show you guys again possibly, but my computer is just lagging. Like legit, you guys see this thing? I mean, it's doing okay, but I gave it a second. But yeah, I'm buying ADA out on the dips. And I got the targets that I'm looking at for that. And I'm just going to cost base average into that. Let's see. Yeah, so we're looking good. Let's go to another chart. Yeah, it's being slow. But yeah, that's exactly what I'm looking at. I mean, could it not dump? It could not dump, but I don't see any signs of a reversal right now. And that's just facts because we did hit that Fibonacci area that I was talking about, and we perfectly tapped that, hit bearish resistance, and then we're continuing down lower. So, I mean, there's nothing to say that we're getting to those levels. And I wouldn't, like me personally, because I know the TA and stuff, I wouldn't personally set like limit orders at those levels. But I mean, if you're just buying and you're not longing it, like, I'm not a financial advisor. And most of that money that I got is tied down into LLCs in real estate. So don't even try to come after me because those limited liability companies are just that. They protect you against lawsuits. So don't even try and come after me, boys. Don't even try it. But I'm not a financial advisor. But, if I didn't know the TA and I might be sleeping like during the dump, if I had like 10,000 or 100,000 subs, I would be up with you guys all night covering this, but it's just, come on, man. I got 100 people. There's people that have dogs on their Instagram that have more followers than me, and I'm calling every single dump. So, I mean, you really can't blame me. But, so, like, if I didn't have the technical analysis skills that I did have, I would probably be doing, like, 42 to 40. I'm probably going to hit the dump tomorrow morning, like, call the bottoms and whatnot, if we are still dumping. Or, like, I would rather just go to bed. Like, I could stay up and hit the exact bottoms, but, like, I really don't care. I need my sleep. But yeah, this is definitely a target right here. This is definitely a target right here. Again, it's not entirely. We could come up here, hit a hammer stick, reverse out of it. There's just nothing on the chart showing that that's the case right now. We have resistance. We're heading down. Once we break this area, it's game over. We could potentially consolidate here, wait for this moving average to come up, hit this moving average like right here. It's below the price action right here, but we'd have to wait a while because this is the 200 EMA. So, or did I say EMA? Yeah, this is the 200-day EMA. So this is a pretty slow moving average. Oh, it is slightly, it's like right next to it. So, I mean, we could come up, hit this EMA right here, and then bounce off this level. That is a definite possibility. It's really hard to see. You guys know I'm colorblind. But I'll zoom in entirely on the charts because this is really substantial. So this is a really slow moving average because it's the biggest one. The bigger they are, the slower they are. Okay, so we're just slightly, right now we're just slightly below it, but like I said, the price action does have a tendency to come down, hit this area, and wick it. But if it does come down and hit this level, it's a lower low. If it does come down to this level, and even if it does come up here and it wicks it, it's a lower low. So, I mean, I wouldn't really necessarily bank on that. And you would want to see something like this to really get a sharp correction, because any whale could just push the price down, especially when you see slippage from like guys that only have like a million or a few million on exchange. Just with the liquidity on like most exchanges, like they can push the price action down pretty quickly and just tank it if we hit there with some like a whale manipulation, even just slippage, which a lot of whales experience. So, I mean, I wouldn't be banking on the price action coming up, hitting this area and wicking and moving higher. And like I said, we will have to consolidate a little bit more. This moving average will have to move up just slightly above this, perfectly wick it, which we haven't seen recently, and then continue higher. And like I said, like anybody could probably dump that price if they have like a reasonable amount on exchange. Let's see. Is there any questions? Don't call, only dump. Call when can long. I don't know, man. I don't know. I gotta tell you guys the truth. I mean, like, don't like video. And hi, is ETH going up? So to see if ETH is going up, like it's more like with these coins, it's more reliant on macro factors. So if Bitcoin's going down, most likely ETH's going down, and we really want to see, okay, if total looks very bearish. So if total looks really bearish, which is the total crypto market cap, you have Bitcoin that's looking very bearish. How well is ETH going to respond to that bearishness of these macro factors? Because Bitcoin is what we call in technical analysis, or a lot of times in the stock market, we will call what Bitcoin is to Ethereum a lead indicator. So usually if Bitcoin is doing poorly, then Ethereum is most likely going to do poorly. As we predicted earlier when we called the dump, Ethereum actually ended up working as a lead indicator and dumping the price because it has such a high market cap, and the charts were really bearish. But what we're looking at right now is it looks like we're going to possibly, Ethereum could be slightly outperforming Bitcoin in the relative term. We could come down right here, and this could be, it really just depends on how we close this candlestick. This is really the charts we need to be looking at. But as soon as price action comes down, hits this level, as soon as price action comes down and hits this level, we're looking at this level. It hit our Fibonacci extension level perfectly right here. We're looking for this level right here, and then if it does not hold these levels, zoom out a little bit, this would be the bottom, I would think. These are very macro patterns with maybe some slippage right here, and not really slippage in that sense, but really just, coming down slightly, wicking it, and then breaking right back into this channel before moving higher and getting that parabolic run. We've been covering this a lot on the channel, but if Bitcoin, continues to drop, ETH could see something. It could break back up into this falling wedge right here where we're really entertaining these ideas, or we could hit our measured move, potentially bounce. If we do break this line right here, then we're going to be setting a low, and it would be a low, and then this is a higher low, and this whole thing would entirely validate like all of this being a downtrend, which would just be massively bearish or whatever. So I mean, just to like plainly simplify it and kind of go over the ideas of what we're looking at right now. So we could hit this area, go lower. We could hit this area, break this, and then potentially hit this. But if we do hit this area, we could bounce. If we do break below this area and we wick below this, that would be extremely bearish for Ethereum, and really all eyes on BTC seems to be the case when we look at Bitcoin dominance. So hopefully that answers your question really good. We're looking a lot at Bitcoin, but let's take a look at, you know, the ETH to USD comparative, which is probably what you were asking, but I mean, I gave you a better answer than maybe what you were thinking. Go to the normie charts. So we take a look at ETH to BTC comparative right here, and this is actually doing a lot better than Bitcoin right now as far as the actual technical fundamentals. You do have this doji right here, and then this is a doji right here, and you do have that support that's kind of lining up right here. Again, all eyes on this level right here. If this level does break, it totally validates, you know, the continuation for this downtrend. But it looks like it's holding support right here. And really, what these 4-hour candlesticks show is they're called. They're not entirely textbook. This is basically a textbook doji, but these are dojis. You know, the price action is pretty inconsistent. It looks like this is forming more into a bearish engulfing, kind of like what we're seeing on Bitcoin. With these areas right here as possible resistance. If we do get a bearish engulfing on the 4-hour candlestick close, again, we're about an hour away from that. If we do see something like that, we could definitely test these areas and most likely break them. And then it's a question of, is this bearish engulfing candlestick? And it's not entirely bearish engulfing. We do have this wick right here, but it's that idea that we always talk about on the channel, that you have this buying pressure right here, and then you have more selling pressure, and the price action engulfs the selling pressure, showing that there's definitely more demand for selling, and the bears are definitely in charge. We could come down to a level like this, possibly get a wick and reverse. It's looking a little more bullish than Bitcoin in that sense, but we could also just hit a bearish candlestick close, come down, hit another bearish candlestick close, blow this level, and then we're looking at like around 72 or 1272 to like 1208 is kind of the numbers that I was looking at. Again, not really too concerned, not really buying ETH right now, more so looking at that ETH to BTC comparative chart, looking more so at a lot of these different charts. So, I mean, if you follow the channel, you know, you'll know our strategy. We're killing it. But, so yeah, like, I really go over on this channel what I'm looking at and like what I'm doing in the markets, and a lot of people really appreciate that. And a lot of YouTube channels, they don't cover that because they're too afraid to be wrong or whatever. So we could definitely see something like this come down, hit this area. I think I just drew this line right here because it would be relatively substantial, like a domino effect, if we did break this line right here. So we'll see if we bounce it as resistance. I think we're going to bounce it as resistance to start out with. If we do get anything even close to this close right here on the 4-hour before potentially heading lower. And then again, it's that question of, do we have enough bearishness to hit this critical area right here and break below it? And because we're in such a downtrend on the mid-term and small-term time frames, not the large term, but mid-term and small-term time frames, I definitely do think that we could not wick the area. I think we could slowly consolidate, like I was saying before, and break that level eventually. And then just depending on the volume and how the dump and how the price action interacts. Like I said, I can't entirely predict the future. But if you talk to me about, you know, where I think, you know, like, you know, I'm going to be humble. I'm not going to say that, like, you know, it's like this or that, like, entirely. But you do have a death cross right here, it looks like, on the 4-hour. So this should tank the price. Yeah. You have a death cross right here. So this is the EMA 20, and this is the EMA 200. Sometimes these are lagging indicators. Sometimes they play out right away. This does definitely have the momentum to drag the price down. Let me get a measurement of exactly where we got that cross, if we can do that. But yeah, this is a death cross right here. And we did get this cross that I was talking about earlier. I was saying, you know, we were most likely going to get these crosses. Price was most likely going to drop. So it looks like this one ended up playing out like right in between these price actions right here. So it was probably like right around here, and then like halfway while this was going on, it ended up crossing. This is the 50 and the 100, and it looks like it ended up crossing and then dumping the price action down, and then it looks like we just see a continuation of that with this death cross right here. We might be cooling off on the RSI, you know, on the midterm time frames. We might be hitting like 30, 40 something relative to that. I mean, we do have consolidation right here, and we just did visit this area. So we might just be writing the Bollinger Bands. Let me pull up the Bollinger Bands for a second. Yeah, so like I said exactly, we're just writing the Bollinger Bands right here before possibly moving lower. And yeah, we'll see how this death cross interacts, if it's already played out, if it continues to drop the price. If it doesn't continue to drop the price and we're reliant entirely on this next 4-hour candlestick close, there is the possibility that that does show that the bulls do have relative strength and that we're either going to slowly consolidate down or that we are going to hold this level potentially. And then you would need like a wick and a hammer. It would be very difficult to reverse out of this pattern without just slamming the bottom and then bouncing up like a lot of people in the space are expecting, myself included. Hopefully that's some decent TA to get your mind into the how I'm thinking about these charts right now. I mean, like I said, I'm good on Ethereum. I'm not really looking to accumulate too much, but those are kind of the levels I'm looking at. Do we go over all the different charts that we have? So that was Binance. Was it Gemini that we had that measured move, or was it Gemini? Yeah. So we've called a lot of really good price action today. We called a lot of good dumps today. Jeez. All right. We've had a really good day today. Been absolutely just... I mean, put me up against any other channel. I loved like talking that smack and then backing it up. Oh my gosh, that's the most crazy thing ever. Like I said, I feel like that skinny guy like walking into the boxing ring and just knocking out all the bigger channels. Like, but like, what are they gonna say? We've called all 4 dumps. We've called all 4, you know, bottoms. We've called all 4 tops. We've called everything on multiple different coins on top of it. This is just dope. I think we covered everything though. I think we are good, pretty much. So, I mean, I'm going to be on tomorrow. Like I said, I would be on more. It's just I only have 100, whatever. I get that we're new and stuff, and I love every single one of my subscribers, and I want to help you guys out, but I also want to sleep. You guys know I'm signing a recon contract for the Marines. You know, I joined Special Forces, or I'm going to do my platoon later or whatever. I joined the Marines and go in Special Forces, made a bunch of money. And I was like, I'd rather be a Marine. We walked in the recruiter's office. I was like, straight up made like a freaking Ferrari. To walk up into the recruiter's office, like I'm like, you know, I'm like, I don't even care. I don't even care. I want to be a Marine, is what I told the guy. And the recruiters were like, had mad respect for me for that. But so I gotta get, but so I'm not making excuses. I gotta get my sleep, you know, because I gotta hit that recon contract. And then recon isn't so calm, but I might be like, I'm like trying to rack up a bunch of special forces schools, so I gotta get my sleep. I just went to the gym. But yeah, I think I covered everything for you guys. I think you guys are good. And then while I'm probably going to be doing some recon training for my MOS, because I had a bulk fuel specialist. They tried to give me a bulk fuel specialist. It pays like 100-something thousand a year, and I was like, I was trying to be as humble as I possibly could, but I was like, I do not need a 6-figure job. Like, I make a lot more than 6 figures doing this. So yeah, you guys know we do recon, so let's go, baby. I'm talking to my platoon leader. I said, yo, give me a recon contract. I just hit perfect PTFT, perfect physical fitness score. But so I got to get my sleep. I think we covered everything. Let's see. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think most people want to know when to start longing BTC. So we can't tell. We can't tell right now because we don't know where the bottom is. And like I say before, you can buy BTC from like 42 to like 40. That's fine. But you want to always long from a position of power. You want to make sure that the dump is entirely over. You want to make sure that there's a lot of room to run. There's still a lot of room in this bull market. Like I called the bottom on Bitcoin like entirely. From 10,000 we've been longing up. I said it's going to go to 100,000. I'm still saying it's going to 100,000. You have a lot of time to be long in this market. Don't get caught up in six figures. I earned that this year. We're not even going to talk about money. I'm doing very good. Staying at home. Yeah, it doesn't matter. I'm over six figures too. It doesn't really matter. Is relative. It depends on the person and who cares. I'm just saying that, I switched my MOS from, they offered me a bulk fuel specialist MOS that was paying like 140,000 and I was like, I'm not interested in it. Don't go military. I'm already a Marine. I already have my contract signed. I'm all good. I'm a Marine. But that's what I wanted to do. But I'm not only sheep going to the Army. I'm not in the Army. I'm a Marine. It's the hardest, military branch or whatever. But anyways, that doesn't matter. I'm just telling you guys I need to go get my sleep because I'm training for Special Forces. So anyways, we're talking about everybody wants to know when we're longing. So like I said before and I said in the beginning, we're going to 100,000. I still think we're going to 100,000 at least by the end of this year. You're going to have plenty of time to start longing it. We're going to have patterns. You don't want to just jump into it right now. Yeah, I'm a really smart guy. I was top of my class over in pharmacy school and I actually ended up dropping out. But we're not going to get into that. So I get it. We're not going to talk about the military-industrial complex. Plus, like I said, I'm a United States Marine, so I can't really talk about it too much. But because I represent them. But is the stock market also crashing? We can look at that in a second. But I want to answer. Everybody's talking about longing it. So when we're talking about longing it, you always want to long from a position of power. Like I said, you want to measure out moves. So let's go to the Bitcoin charts right now. See BTC. Nice. Yeah, we called that dump, man. Just 4 dumps in a row called, and then we called, the guys last stream was like, call it, or is it going up or down? We called that. All right. So you want to play like a measured move. Like we had this measured move right here. We had this double top right here. And then we had the neckline for it. We got the measured move. You don't want to trade because you're setting yourself up for failure. Like right here, I didn't even want to make this call because there was no pattern. But somebody said, you think you're the GOAT, call it. Top, is it going up or down? And I called that it was going down, and we called it. But I wouldn't short that. Like I said, in trading and specifically trading, you want to be humble and you want to know what your abilities and the limitations of technical analysis are and the risk to reward ratio. So let me go over this really quick because a lot of guys are a lot newer. So we're just going to go over this idea really quickly. So I'm going to get the paintbrush tool. And we're going to go over this idea really quickly because it's imperative. The whole reason I started this channel is because I don't want people to lose money. I want to help people. And a lot of the guys are newer to the space. So let's say price action comes down to this level right here and then bottoms right here. We have this neckline right here. This would be this area right here. How you would set up if we did get a double bottom, I'm about to go to sleep, but if we do get a double bottom on a higher time frame, TF, on the 4-hour to 1-hour chart, and we do see price action. I've gone over double bottoms a lot on the channel, but if we were to get that area right there, then specifically what we would be doing, and I'm going to go over all this because this is really, really important. We would put our long position, possibly there's a few ways of going around this breakout. Again, we're not at these levels yet, but just so you guys get an understanding, because a lot of guys don't have the training, and then I don't want these guys to get wrecked just because they don't have the training. So right here we have a risk to reward ratio, and we're going to go over that in a second, but right here we have a measured move. So you would have essentially like a double bottom, and we go over that a lot on the chart. It's the exact opposite of a double top. So you have the price action coming in. Let's say it bottoms once, it bottoms twice, it breaks the neckline, and then we start moving up on that move. You're going to want to open your long position when we break the neckline at the most risky situation. If the price action comes up and then comes down, that would be called testing the neckline as support. And if we were to test that area as support and continue to move up higher, that would be a bullish retest. And then that's the safest point that's one of the safest points to enter in. The safest point to enter in would be if we price action came up, broke the neckline, we had like a candlestick, like say right here, like in retrospect right here, and then came down, hit the neckline, and then as soon as we broke that other high that we set when we first broke the neckline, at that level, that is the safest point to enter into a trade. And then you would enter into a trade, and then the safest way to do it would be to measure the move, figure out what you're looking at. Maybe you're looking at, let's say, a 5% move, and then put your stop loss, maybe look at a moving average, maybe look at some other stuff, and put your stop loss at maybe right here. And so you have a perfect risk to reward ratio, like a really strong risk to reward ratio of 5%. You have the 5% gains on top of your leverage. So if you're on 10%, you'd be making 50%, and then you're only risking 15% essentially if you get stopped out. So that's a proper risk to reward ratio. So you need to understand trading patterns. You need to understand risk to reward ratios. We don't have any of that right here. So, and we're not going to have any of that guaranteed when we hit these bottoms. That's the point that I was talking about, was that there's nothing to trade right now. I tell my audience, we've done massive amounts of multiple successful trades on the channel. We've never lost money on a trade. We know what we're doing, and right now is not the time to be trading. Right now is not the time to be looking for a long. And when we do look for a long, we want to see a clear, concise understanding that we're done with this. We're done with this downtrend, which we're not done with right now. It's very risky to open up a long position in anything right now, and then I can't predict the future. I don't know what the price action is going to be like if we drop down to 42.40. We could have double tops, or we couldn't have double tops, but we could, continue to have like bearish patterns, bearish candlestick closes. It just depends, and I'm not going to be with you. So I'm telling you guys, we long from a position of strength. If you do want to get in and take advantage of the market, you could do like 25% around that, $42,000 area that we were talking about, and then 40% around that 25. Again, I'm not a financial advisor, but that would be. But I don't want people. I get people all the time coming at me at this channel, and they're like, "Listen, man, I messed up. I caught a falling knife." And like I open this long position and the price keeps dropping and I'm scared, and I don't want anybody to be in that position. If you've been watching this channel for at least the last 3 days, I've called all 4 bottoms, and you should never be in that position. And trust me, it's all fun and games. It's all greed until you open up that position and your account starts going negative and you're right next to a liquidation. And then you're like, crap, why was I so greedy? Why did I open that trade? I don't want you guys to be in that position. Nobody on my channel should be losing money. We're calling all the price action perfectly, and right now is not even close to an opportunity to long it. And like I said, we need to look for those opportunities, and we will have double bottoms as we're moving up. I mean, just looking at this alone, the fact that we are consolidating right now, the fact that we are moving lower, it cools off the RSI, it cools off the moving averages, and gets us closer to, like we look at the heat maps on, like logarithmic scales, and what we look at on like the heat map with the 200-day moving average on the weekly chart. It brings us back up to those levels, and the bull run is most likely because we're hitting these massive levels like right here, like what we're talking about in consolidating. We're most likely going to have an extended bull run, and it looks like we could easily breach 100,000, like what I've been saying before. And a lot of people see this price action and they say, oh, it's the end of the world or whatever, when really when you zoom out, when you take a second to zoom out, if we do come down, hit 40,000 and tap it and reverse perfectly, like I said before, my main concern really is these daily candlestick closes. I don't want to see another daily candlestick close. Like, this is a bearish candlestick close. This is very bearish right here. What I want to see is I want to see us hit this area right here perfectly and then bounce and get a strong wick of strong hammer stick formation. What I don't want to see is I don't want to see the price consolidate down here. I actually do want the price to come down here, get limit orders filled, pump the price up, and get a nice massive wick, a longer wick than this, and then basically start reversing out of this pattern. But as we're reversing out of this pattern, potentially, there's going to be double tops. There's going to be symmetrical triangles. There's going to be symmetrical. There's going to be consolidation patterns that we can trade on the way up. My point is this: I always tell my audience, be patient, because I'm always giving you guys opportunities. I'm always giving you guys opportunities. I've called every single best coin. I called Cardano at 10 cents. I called, every single pump on every single major coin. I was calling synthetics. I was calling Aave as they were pumping crazy. I will give you guys opportunities on the channel. Like, don't be impatient. I give opportunities on this channel like almost every single day. So you literally just have to probably wait till tomorrow for some massive opportunities. Don't FOMO in right now. Don't lose everything right now. Be patient. Wait for the opportunities. Take the opportunities. Cost-based averaging, like I said, and around these levels, like I said, like I don't remember the exact levels I was looking at earlier, but I would do like 5%, 5%, 5%, 5%, 5%, 5%, and then something like that, and have 50% of my buying power. Like I said before, I'm not buying Bitcoin. I am personally, from my portfolio that I talk about all the time on this channel, I'm more so looking at my last opportunity to buy Cardano on this dip. So that's what I'm looking at. But if you were to look into Bitcoin, buy the Bitcoin if that's what you're interested in, and then as we find these, potentially this is going to be, we're definitely going to be looking at something like this for sure. This is definitely going to be a huge level right here. We could definitely hit this level, wick it. This is pretty bearish. This is a pretty bearish target, but we could potentially hit this area, bounce it, and then, like I said, when in doubt, zoom out. Like, at the end of the day, like, we could have a multi-week correction depending on how we close these candlesticks. Like I said, I want to see the price action dump, come down, come back up. And if we zoom out and we do get a nice wick, like I said before with Elliott wave pattern, you have this impulse wave, corrective wave, impulse wave, corrective wave, impulse wave, corrective wave, and then we could have a nice another impulse wave. And like I said, when you really zoom out, this is on the daily, and this is the whole Elliott wave pattern right here, but you could put this one as one impulse wave right here easily. Corrective wave, impulse wave, corrective wave, come down to this level perfectly. It does breach this area, and it's not entirely Elliott wave based off of, because I obviously know Elliott wave, but we could come down, hit this area at least perfectly, and then continue to have this massive impulse wave, and the bull market would continue to go on. And like you're looking at my tracer right here, this is 80,000 before, I'm not entirely sure on the exact measure move. We don't really have any consolidation patterns that we're measuring right here. We could go off of Fibonacci extensions, which I can go off of later when we break all-time highs again. I'm not concerned about that right now, and I'm sure you're not concerned about that right now. But potentially hitting this area, retracing, and then blasting off for that, finishing wave, Elliott wave pattern, which, it's very advanced trading. A lot of people, they just don't have the education, so you might not hear about it on a lot of channels, but Elliott wave is extremely accurate, and we've used it multiple times to perfectly chart patterns on this channel. And then on top of that, if you don't even want to go off the Elliott wave, like if you're like, oh, I don't know about Elliott wave or blah, 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 you look at this right here. This is a textbook uptrend, and this is going to continuate the uptrend right here. So in the long term, I'm not concerned. Like I said before, I think I've streamed like 8 hours today total. I've been talking to people all day when I'm off. I was talking to my girlfriend. I was talking to the boys when I went to the gym. My throat is like killing me right now. But you're smart. Good night. Don't waste your life for others in war. Hi, good to be back. Could you look at Doe and Phantom? Stay safe. Hope all is well with your training. Thanks for the analysis. Absolutely. Thank you very much. Is the stock market also crashing? I can go over that really quick. try to learn from smarter men than me. It's just like, like I said, you long from a position of power, you buy from, like if you're like FOMOing and you're like, oh, this seems like a really good opportunity and I really want to take advantage of this, but I'm not from a position of strength like we're talking about. What we do is we buy. And then, like I said, when we get those double bottom patterns, when we get, maybe a golden cross, and we can ride a golden cross potentially with tight stop losses, different things, we need something. We need some technical analysis. We can't just hit the bottom. We can't just like be like, oh, I think this is going to be the bottom and like guess. And then because, like I said, everybody in this markets are just getting wrecked catching these knife patterns, and they're just getting wrecked. Like, it's called a falling knife in TA, where we don't know where the knife is going to continue to fall. We don't know exactly the area where it's going to fall until we find support, until we start getting bounces, until we start getting like hammer candlesticks, and we're just not there right now. So like I'm like I said, people come up to me all the time, like on YouTube, and like it's so annoying because I just feel so sad. I'm like, I just wish I could have helped them. I wish they would have saw the channel before, because we've called all the bottoms, and I would have told them like, stay out of the markets. That's what I've been telling my audience. And so like I'm telling my audience right now, like if you have the opportunity to be on this channel, to be on this super underrated channel where I've called the bottom 4 times and called the top and everything, like we know what we're doing on this channel. Like, you're very fortunate to be on this channel. Don't sleep on this information, because you're not going to get it anywhere else on the internet. So like, just take advantage of it. I mean, if you're going to open up a long position, at the very least use extremely low leverage, and I don't even recommend that, because you're going to be looking at your funding rate. And like I said before, if we start getting bearish candlesticks on the daily, which is what we're covering, and then on the weekly, like we're on Thursday right now, we have a few more days. If we get that bearish engulfing candlestick on the weekly, don't think for a second that everybody's going to say that we're not going to have a multi-week correction, possibly with consolidation, which is just going to be, even if you're on low leverage swing trade, it's going to be cutting into your funding rate. To keep that trade open, it's going to be extremely expensive. So I'm not recommending anybody get in right now, but I'm not trying to be mean. I'm really just trying to save people's money, and I care more about people surviving or whatever, these crashes, these bloodbaths, than I do about people's feelings. And I'm trying to get better about that, but right now I'm just very passionate about that. Let's take a quick look at the S&P. The S&P used to be highly correlated with the stock market, or with the Bitcoin. S&P 500. Am I typing it in right? I usually look at it, yeah. This is the SPY. It should be, I like to go off the Vanguard. So Vanguard, S&P. So S&P is relative to Bitcoin. So like if the S&P tanks, well, let's like take a quick look at the DXY first, because the DXY, if the DXY goes down, then Bitcoin usually goes down. It looks like it's holding that double top. You guys know we've been covering that double top. We were the first YouTube channel to cover that double top, and I was very proud of it. And it looks like we're still kind of, resisting that neckline right there. But if we do break this neckline, close below it, I mean, the dollar is just going to hit, the measured move for it is at 74%. That's going to be incredible for cryptocurrency. And I mean, the US dollar is the reserve currency of the world right now. So it's obviously going to affect everybody. And like I said, it's like the Fed is trying not to scare everybody. The chairman of the Fed, I'm very up to date, like I talked about in a few other hours ago, like on a few other videos. It was either today or yesterday. It's a basket of commodities. The DXY, the dollar index, is a basket of commodities or commodity currencies, a basket of currencies like the yen, the pound, all these different things, and its comparative buying power against these. They're all dropping so drastically. Like, it doesn't look like the DXY is dropping, but it's because everything else is dropping with it, and that's what it's compared to. So you're not really seeing the effect of it because they're all dropping together, so the percentage change is very small. But once you get that double top on the DXY, it's going to go like this. And it's going to be substantial. And then every normie is going to understand that we're really experiencing some extreme inflation right now. And, all assets and like crypto stocks and whatnot are going to be doing really good. So that's why we cover that. S&P. Do I have to do the symbol thing? I want to look at the Vanguard S&P. That's what I usually look at. S&P 500, Vanguard Index, is this it? I'm pretty sure this is it. So let's take a quick look at it real quick. I got briefed on it so many times because so many people try and come up to me because they're like stock guys and they want to like share their information about stocks in hopes that I will share my information about crypto. And the main concern that people have on the stock market is there's a major trend line that they're like talking about possibly it's breaking, but it looks like I don't know where that is. I'll have to DM the guy or something because I don't want to look for it. But let's see. But everybody's concern is that we're breaking a major trend line possibly on an uptrend and we could possibly be reversing. What I can tell you right now for sure, just looking at this chart, is my main concern is if we are crashing out of the stock market, the main thing that's going to really start to initiate that is you have a double top right here on the daily. This is going to be substantial. Like I said, there is that trend line that could be, we could be crossing that I'm not going to look for because I don't want to waste people's time and look for it. But we definitely do have this neckline right here. So let's just take a look at this for a second because this is absolutely massive. And then on the daily, we do have this bearish candlestick. So the S&P is not looking good. The S&P is not looking good. And like, why are we covering the S&P? The S&P, if the S&P just absolutely tanks, that's the liquidity markets. That's not going to be good for crypto whatsoever. Let's take a look at that. Do a white right there. Perfect. So we're just going to go over this for a second because like I said, if the stock market, the stock market's closed right now. If we come over tomorrow, stock market is opens up, crashes, crypto is going to crash along with it. So at least to a degree, unless it breaks correlation. So what I'm looking at right here is you do have the measured move for this. It looks like we could definitely hit this area. We'd be looking at maybe this peak right here, maybe this peak right here, maybe this peak right here, maybe this peak right here. So I'm going to make this a little bit fatter, and I'm just going to chart this out a little bit. Going to do this like that, and yeah, so like I'm going over the idea right now of the S&P crashing because yeah, that's something that you really need to understand. A lot of people got just wrecked in 2019 when the S&P first corrected. Bitcoin crashed, and it crashed hard, and a lot of people really got liquidated. This is really a substantial level right here, not as relevant to the neckline. So this would be like a take profits from like a long position, just depending on which way you're looking at it. So you got this right here. And then if you guys could just, if you guys have any like short, quick questions I could just answer really quickly. I hope I covered everybody's like major questions, and then probably this level right here and this level right here. But I mean, I really just want to do the, is this already? Yeah, this is already to the measured move, and it doesn't look like there'd be anything else. Yeah, so, and then the measured move would hit right here, and then we would have the price action come down like right here. We could have something like a double bottom. Who knows? I mean, you could say like it's really hard to argue about the validity of this trend line right here because like if you were to draw a trend line, this is going to be a sloppy trend line. Like I said, I don't want to waste anybody's time. I just really want to go over this really quickly because like I said, it is substantial. If the stock market does tank, this is going to tank crypto. So somebody's asking about, what's going on with the stock market. This is the only thing that I would say from a technical standpoint is, again, this is going to be sloppy. This isn't, you need valid touch points, and it would take me a little bit to draw this trend line. But essentially, you have a trend line that looks a little something like this. And if you do break it and you do wick above it right here, that doesn't really, I'm not too terribly concerned with the stock market right now. Like I said, this is a bearish candlestick on the daily, and that is a legitimate concern that I think anybody would have. This is pretty bearish engulfing right here, and it does cover these 2 days, which is very substantial, relatively speaking. Like I said, if that does continue to consolidate and push bearish momentum down to this neckline, and we do break this neckline, we could hit this measured move before, possibly like coming up for a breather, and then possibly, I don't think that, we had a double bottom right here, and it looks like the double bottom played out. we can measure the measured move on this. I don't know how much you guys care about this. Like I said, if the stock market crashes, Bitcoin crashes. So it is relative. I'm not just, looking at this for no reason. Plus, I think a lot of guys are in stocks. I used to be a big stock guy. So this is the neckline right here, and that's going to be that's going to be right there, and then that's right there. So, I mean, the stock market is looking more bullish than anything because you do have this double bottom idea right here. You can argue because, like I said, the double bottoms come in, the price action comes in from the top to the bottom, and this doesn't really look like it's coming in, but it's still that W formation that seems to end up playing out, and you do have a clear uptrend. So really the main thing that I'm concerned about, but this does look bullish, and it does if this was, it's not a textbook double bottom. It's not like the cleanest double bottom. I definitely wouldn't trade off this double bottom, but it does have that measured move, and it looks like it overextended this measured move. So stock market's looking pretty bullish. This is just looking bearish in the short term for sure. This is really what I'm looking at because you have this massive uptrend that you constantly see in the stock market. Like, this is like as textbook as it gets for an uptrend. So really what I'm looking at is I'm like, okay, well, what's going to distort this uptrend, at least in the short term, and that's going to be that double top. So let me see if I can answer some questions really quick. I'll go over Bitcoin again in a second. Maybe something changed with it. Hi, should I sell now? So long term, it's not a sell at right now from everything, and I'm going to be streaming all day tomorrow, so I'll go over that. But right now, it's not a sell long term. If you're like trading or something, it just depends. But it just depends on what you're trying to do. If you're going to sell your Bitcoin, like, what are you going to sell it for? The S&P is pretty bearish right now. Crypto's relatively bearish right now. But when you compare asset classes, and I'm not going to spend too much time covering this, but Bitcoin does definitely seem to be one of the best asset classes, and I could see a recovery in the next 2 to 3 days, as long as we don't get that bearish engulfing on the weekly. I wouldn't recommend swing trading it or anything. We have a saying in the space called hodl. Hodl strong, and basically, if you're looking for long term, which I recommend, there's only 21 million in supply, and that's ever to be created. I'm not going to go into it too much. I go on over it so much. I wouldn't recommend selling for long term. I'm not a financial advisor, but I have a massive amount of Bitcoin, and I bought a massive amount at 10,000 when I thought that the bottom was occurring, and I haven't sold any of it. And I have a lot of Bitcoin, and I'm not selling. So, I can really only tell you what I'm doing. But in the short term, if you want to sell and then buy back in, I wouldn't recommend that strategy because there's nothing to say that, we can't just hit a massive wick or something. It happens to so many people. Bitcoin under 45 right now. Damn, we absolutely nailed all those different dips. Literally, high five to my community. We are just freaking murking the game. We are murking the game. And like I said, this is what I care about. This is what I would rather have is, all these calls on live. We called all the price action live. Damn, we are killing it. Thanks for the heads up. So let's take a quick look at this real quick. It looks like it's hitting our measured move right here perfectly, bouncing off of it, cooling down, and then it's going to head lower. Boom shakalaka. You like that, Crypto Love? We've out-predicted Crypto Love on everything. Let's go, baby. Oh, I love talking this smack and backing it up. Oh my gosh, we are killing it. Oh, so we haven't hit this measured move entirely yet. Maybe there's some limit orders right here. It looks like when you see the price action, and this is really faking people out a lot, when you see the price action come down like this and then bounce, a lot of times the limit orders are getting filled. It's creating a small supply shock where basically it's pumping up the price a little bit before the longs continue to push the price down. It looks like there were possibly some limit orders above this key critical area right here. It's going to look like it's going to hit this area right here. We're most likely going to get more buy orders filled before potentially pumping down more. There's a lot of volume coming in on this move. So yeah, we could definitely bounce right here. Oh, we broke it. So I was thinking a bounce right here and then continuing lower. And then again, it really, all it comes down to at this point is we're on the 4 hour. All it comes down to at this point is what's going on the 4-hour candlestick close. That's really what everybody's going to be concerned about. So, I mean, we didn't even get, it looks like we're about to get this 4-hour candlestick close. If we get this 4-hour candlestick close like this, yeah, I get it. My area is going to hold for a second. But if we get this 4-hour candlestick close right here, we could definitely be heading down to those levels that I was talking about. And like I said before, not financial advice. I'm looking at like 42 to 40 area, like cost-based averaging in like 5%. I told you guys exactly how I do it, like exactly. And then the other thing that I look at is on Ethereum, I'm looking at like around 1274 to 1208. Like I said before, I'm mostly concerned about buying Cardano right now, so I do apologize, and the fact that I would have like exact targets for you that I was really looking at. So it looks like in 13 minutes we are closing this area right here. Let's take a quick look at the time frame, the TF. Yeah, so 8 o'clock. So yeah, it looks like in 13 minutes. For this price just to not absolutely dump, we would have to come up to these levels right here in the next 13 minutes. I don't think it's possible. Yeah, so we're getting this wick right here. Buy orders, like I was talking about, limit buy orders. A lot of different people like delay. A lot of people are like panic, like buying and stuff. But it doesn't matter if people are panic buying. It doesn't matter if people are buying right now. It doesn't matter if limit orders are being filled. In 13 minutes, if we get that bearish candlestick close on the 4-hour, we're going to continue to see downside. This is absolutely massive bearish candlestick. Let me see if I can answer some questions right now, if there's anything in the comments that people are looking for. Okay, thanks, bro. Yeah, absolutely. What was even your comment? Oh, should I sell now? Yeah. So like I said, I guess I can zoom out a little bit. Like, I don't want to go over like all this stuff. Like I go over it like all the time, and I don't have a problem with like explaining it every single time. But just for like, I'm sure a lot of my subscribers are like, he's gone over this so many times on his channel. But like when you zoom out to the weekly, like I said before, when you really zoom out, we're in this really nice uptrend right here. And then we did have this corrective wave. So this is like an impulse wave, corrective wave, impulse wave, corrective wave, and then another impulse wave. If you don't understand Elliott wave patterns, like that's fine. Nobody cares. Like you're good. Like who cares? So I know like that technical analysis. Don't even worry about that. This is very clearly an uptrend. So right here now you have a high, you have a higher high, and you have a higher high in general on the weekly. You have a low, a higher low, a higher low. And even if we do hit this low right here, it is still higher than this previous low right here. So you constantly have a high, and this is a textbook uptrend. This is like a perfect like zigzag uptrend. And like I said before, we could easily hit this target right here. We could easily hit this target right here and continue higher and still be in a very, very healthy uptrend. Like I said before, we are in a massive bearish candlestick right here. This is a bearish engulfing candlestick right here, and what we definitely don't want to see is we don't want to see a weekly closing on this candlestick right here. If we get a weekly close on this weekly candlestick, this is a bearish engulfing, and this is textbook bearish engulfing. Before I'm like, on a lot of these charts, I'm like, oh, well, this is, the principles of a bearish engulfing, but, there is a wick and this. No, this is actually a bearish engulfing on the weekly. And so, like, if you're a little bit newer to trading, you're like, okay, so what's the big deal, dude? A weekly, the higher the TF, the higher the time frame, the more significant the price action is. I go over that a lot. So, something on the minute chart is not going to be as relative as something on the monthly chart. And right now we're on the weekly chart. So this is a very significant TF. This is a very significant time frame that really dictates the macro charts of what's going on in the higher time frames. So if we do get, this price action is bearish, which means it's not good. If you're really new to trading, this means it's not good. And if we do get a close, in the weekly, right now we're on Thursday, it's almost Friday, if not Friday, just depending on where you are in the world right now. I guess it is Friday. Yeah, it's Friday. Sunday, if Sunday comes around, we got Saturday, Sunday, we got 2 more days. We need to hit this wick. We need to come down and wick. If we come down a hammer stick formation, that's fine. We can get a reversal out of that. If we do continue to consolidate, if we do close this candlestick bearish and we do like hang around those levels and we close this weekly candlestick bearish, that's going to be massive multi-week correction. And then if we do have that multi-week correction and we do start to close like some significant areas, if we do start to close some significant areas, this is most likely not going to happen. I don't think this is going to happen. I'm not saying that this is going to happen. I'm just telling you guys, we have to look at the charts. We're so successful on this channel because we look at the charts. And we don't follow the opinions. And, you know, like when we called like for like, I think a week or two that Ethereum was constantly going to underperform Bitcoin against every other YouTube channel, every single major YouTube channel. It's because we were looking at the ETH to BTC. We weren't forming our own opinions. We said, well, listen, we understand the fundamentals, but we got to look at the charts. So right here, if we do come down, like if we do close this candlestick bearish, we do come down on this multi-week correction, and then if we were to hit like 30,000 and close a candlestick below this, this could be a double top, and this could end the bull market or bull run. Do I think that's going to happen? I doubt it's going to happen. I really don't think that's going to happen. I really don't think that's going to happen. Again, nobody cares about my opinions. Nobody cares about anybody's opinions. Let's look at the facts. So we'll see how this candlestick closes. You know, I don't think that's going to happen. There's not a single expert in the space that thinks this is going to happen. We got to look at the charts. We'll see what happens. I'm keeping you guys updated on that. And then again, we do have that bearish on the daily. And that's really, you know, it starts on the minute chart and then it moves up in price action. So, I mean, the step towards getting, you know, that bearish correction or that bearish, literally bearish engulfing, textbook bearish engulfing pattern is if we get something like this. If we get anything on the daily close, anything like this, it's not going to be good. It's not going to be good. If we get a bearish engulfing, or this isn't a bearish engulfing because it's not. This is nearly a bearish engulfing, but you do have this wick right here on the weekly. It actually is like textbook very bearish, bearish engulfing. So it looks like right now, if you want like an exact analytical perspective on the technical analysis, it looks like we're bouncing between this major Fibonacci area where we did find support resistance multiple times, 2 times to be exact, so not multiple, but. We did find resistance right here, and then we're bouncing in between resistance, and this is temporary support. Again, it's fighting a massive downtrend. It's most likely going to break this pretty quickly. And then, like I said before, best case scenario, we come down, we wick it, we don't get like a bearish candlestick close on the daily. It looks like we could, you know, anything like around these areas is going to be bearish, and the price action could, you know, be gravitated down because of these more macro charts like on the daily. Let me see if I can have any quick questions, and then, but right now it is looking good. It is looking good. It looks like we could hit, you know, that Fibonacci area of the on the higher time frames. We could hit that golden pocket area, bounce, and it would be healthy. So like, I'm not trying to like FUD anybody. If there is the end of the bull market, I'm not gonna lie to everybody. Why is everything selling off? So I mean, I can actually answer this because we were the only channel on the internet to cover it. There was a so Ethereum had a day, and Ethereum had a huge market cap. It had a double top. It was really pushing the market down. We covered this on a video a few hours ago, and then we had a double top on total, which is total crypto market cap. And it was just like a self-fulfilling prophecy that it just kept crashing. I don't want to go over that too much, but I covered that all day today. But yeah, basically Ethereum was looking a little bit bearish, you know, just the way the charts added up. There was the ETH to BTC comparative chart that everybody was looking at, and it continued to trend lower. A lot of longs got liquidated. There was a bearish pattern on it. It's a very major whatever you call it, and then that ended up pushing down Bitcoin a little bit. That ended up pushing down altcoins a little bit, and there was a double top on the total crypto market cap. That dot coming back to test 26. I can go over a dot in a second real quick, but yeah, this is really to start to answer your question. We've been covering it all day, and we actually called this dump, which is crazy. We're actually one of the only channels, well, the only channel that's called all 4 dumps. Hey, can you check Phantom and Dot? Shoot, I think you asked me about this earlier. I don't like covering like small cap coins like that, but I think I might be able to do that for you. Called the double top a few days ago. BTC backer. So we called multiple dumps. There was a double top on the today on the 4 hour on total. So I don't think it's playing out right now. No, because we had like like the consolidation or whatever. No, these are 4 individual pumps. I'm pretty sure I'm the only or 4 individual dumps, and then it retraced a little bit, hit the golden Fibonacci area perfectly, and then dumped again. So you would have had to call each individual dump individually like we did. I don't think that there was any. Maybe there's a higher time frame area that I didn't see any necklines for that. Maybe, I don't think so. It doesn't really work like that. Our measured move hit it. We went up. Everybody was like, "Oh, dump's over." And I'm like, "No, it's definitely not over right now." And then we got another double top, and then we dumped down again, and we did that 4 times. I don't know. We're like crazy on this channel how we're like destroying all the big channels, and like we're like the little guy just like I don't know. We're the best channel on the internet right now, according to everything. Yeah, he doesn't go into the lower timelines. Yeah, I don't go into the lower timelines either. So maybe it is on the weekly, or you definitely called it all. Yeah, thanks, bro. I appreciate it. So let's go over DOT a little bit, and then I'm like, I don't want to cover like the low cap like that nobody is really interested in, like, but I do want to help you out. Let me go over DOT real quick for a second. And then I'll cover one of them. Pick one of them, and I'll cover that real quick. While I'm looking at USD, pick one of those charts and I'll cover for you. I think that's fair. I do always want to help people out, but like at the same time, I don't want the entire audience to be like, nobody cares about this coin. Like, no shade to you. Maybe, you got some like low cap gem masterpiece, but so again, like the whole thing with DOT, it's like with every other altcoin. So right now you have this downtrend like in the shorter term time frames. I mean, this is the daily, so this is the shorter term to mid term time frames. You do have this downtrend. You're going to see this on all the altcoins that we've been covering. You have this downtrend right here. We could definitely hit this area like we've seen multiple times. We've seen this chart validated multiple times. You have a touch right here. You have a touch right here. It's been validated multiple times. We could see a bounce right here. Yeah, around that 26 that you were looking at before potentially moving higher slightly and then dumping down further. The next major level that I'm looking for on this chart is again touching this area right here. This is cracking, so understand that this is. I hate when a lot of TA guys say scam wick when there's not actually scam wicks. They did have issues with providing liquidity to their exchange, and this is a legitimate scam wick. No, price action was not getting filled down here. This was not market price. This is not accurate. This is more so an evaluation right here. And if we do come down to that 40, 42 area, and you're looking to accumulate DOT, I go over DOT a lot on this channel. We're a Cardano community, but there's obviously room for DOT, and DOT's doing decent stuff. Like we called DOT's price action tops and bottoms multiple times, and I'm not gonna get into it too much, but I like DOT. DOT's a great coin. It looks like this could possibly be an incredible opportunity if we do come down, hit this level right here, and then bounce around that $42,000 to $40,000. It really just depends again on the more macro factors like Bitcoin, how strong it's dumping, and that's going to be the same for all the altcoins. Did I go over? I feel like I haven't really gone over BTC.D. Let me go over BTC.D, and again, like I'll cover that one chart real quick for you. Really get my opinions, but like I said, like I don't like covering like those small caps that nobody really cares. Like I'm not even trying to sound mean. Like I just know how it is. Like there's gonna be a lot of people that are like, man, like why is he covering this coin? Like there's like a lot of people that are just gonna be like, man. Yeah, so we're consolidating right here. That's what I talked about earlier multiple times. We're just consolidating at this level right here on BTC.D. This is, again, a massive area. We're going to zoom in slightly, and this does help everybody on altcoins. Everybody that's looking at altcoins is alt season, stuff like that. This is going to be absolutely massive. I mean, total is dropping, and like I said before, that's really the crucial area right there is total. So it looks like we did kind of get a hammer. It looks like we're kind of printing a bearish candlestick right here, but it's going up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down. It's a doji on the higher time frames, and that's what we've been talking about multiple times, and we see these dojis print out quite a bit. But if we do break above this level right here, this is a bottom right here, and then this is a bottom right here, and the price action does come down, bottoms out right here, with this being the neckline right here. It looks like we did break above this area right here, like I said earlier, but we didn't have the strength. So it looks like it's right now it is in definite favor of the altcoins right now as a preference to BTC. Because this measured move, if it was very bullish for Bitcoin, as opposed, you would see a continuation of this measured move, and we didn't even come close to testing this area right here, which I said, if we do hit this measured move right here, it would be a fractal idea. We'd most likely come up to a level like this, get rejected, and then continue lower. Possibly this area has been really accurate. It's kind of hard to see, but this chart has been really accurate. I'm not going to go over the historical accuracy of it right now because I don't want to waste anybody's time, but Phantom, I got you. Yeah, I got you. Dot and Phantom, I got you. Yeah, because I mean, Phantom is a little bit more popular too. You made a nice bit of money. Dot and Phantom, check Phantom, please. Yeah, I got you. What's your thought on XRP? I talk about XRP a lot. Let me go over Phantom real quick. What's the ticker symbol on Phantom? Is it just Phantom? Phantom. Is it Phantom? USD. Probably spelled it a little bit off. Phantom. Yeah, I even said Phantom. All right, there we go. Tether, we're going to go to United States D. How's the liquidity on this market? Okay, nice. I was not expecting this to have this much liquidity. All right, nice. Let's go over this for a second, and then I'll talk about XRP. I get the whole argument for the XRP army. I really do. I've been in. Oh, so this is okay. So right off the bat, again, I'm not like a mean person. I'm just trying to help you out. Just understand everything I'm about to come out of my mouth is literally just to help you out. This is new price action right here. Either this exchange just started listing this coin, or this is new price action. You cannot do technical analysis on something that just came out. It's not possible. It's in what's called price discovery. It's in self-actualization mode, where it's like trying to figure out where it goes. Like look at Zcash, look at different coins, and you'll see that. Look at Filecoin, look at Graph when it first came out. Maybe this is just the exchange, and I'll go to another exchange and give it the benefit of the doubt, but Binance would really be okay. Yeah, because if it's a new coin, I can't do the technical analysis, and I'm not gonna BS and do the technical analysis on something that can't be done. It looks like we do have some nice. So we do look like we're in an uptrend right now. Yeah. So okay. Yeah, we do have some nice consolidation, some uptrend. Let's take a look at. Let's go. We usually don't go on the 4-hour right now. So with the whole thing on XRP, I understand the XRP army. I understand. I understand that the average person that's saying the XRP army is stupid. I understand the XRP army. I understand both sides very clearly. I get both points of view. I understand all the points of view. Is this a scam wick right here? Is this a legit wick right here? Is this a Fibonacci retracement? This looks like the Fibonacci retracement, yeah. All right, and then we'll go over some other stuff on this. I think this is a scam wick. Is this a scam wick? I don't know. I don't think it is. Okay, so obviously this level is significant, and we're going to go over that, and then like I said, really what it comes down to is finding that key area, and we're going to look at it in a second. We're going to get a few measurements, but it looks like So you have this area right here, and it looks like it comes up, and then it looks like the bottom of this area is right here, and it looks like it bottoms right here, and then it wicks up. So there's two ways we could measure this. We could measure it from the Elliott wave side, where we measure it from right here. Yeah, I mean, this is a corrective wave, but we are on the macros on the weekly. So we could measure it from this bottom right here, or we could measure it from right here. These are both substantial bottoms. I'm going to measure it from this one because we are on the weekly and we are really zooming out. We'll see how the price action interacts with these levels. So it looks like we're just slightly right now below the golden pocket. Let's see if the price action is interacting favorably to confirm it. So this is absolutely a key level. Like I said, anybody can draw a Fibonacci retracement level and draw a swing high to a swing low. Really understanding like the crucial levels of exactly those key fundamental areas is what's really going to be what makes you a successful trader or not. All right, so yeah, I mean, no matter what you look at it, on the weekly, it looks like, and on the macro timeframes, what we don't want to see on Phantom is we don't want to see closes around this level. We want it to pump up slightly more. If we do start seeing closes right here, this is the golden pocket area, and we could definitely start heading lower, consolidating lower, just different things. It's going to be bearish if we do get a candlestick. If we, from the 1 hour to the 4 hour, again, 1 hour is just more indicative of what's most likely going to happen to the 4 hour, but really people trade off the 4 hour. So a 4 hour candlestick below this level is going to be massive. Let's see if we actually already have it. I'll just save you the time real quick. So let's about XRP. I understand both sides. I hold an ultra small amount of XRP. I do have a little more XLM. It's just the safer. It just depends on your risk to reward ratio. XRP is extremely high risk, extremely high reward, and what their actualized mission is. So their actualized mission is they want to get a bunch of banks to add liquidity to their. So yeah, this is looking pretty bearish right here. It depends on how we test this. It looks like we're testing this area right here. We could hit it as resistance, come down, and that's going to be bearish. If we do hit this area and break above it, that's going to be bullish. And that's the key level. I gave you the key exact level that everybody's looking at right now that you need to know. So on XRP, it's extremely high risk, extremely high reward. Not only everybody's talking about the SEC lawsuit, and that's fine, and it is what it is. And we'll see if exchange is listed and whatever the deal is with that. But then on top of it, to really get that price actualization that the XRP is looking for when they're super bullish on it, all major banks have to adopt it, and there's a whole discussion with, well, there's already banks adopting it, there's already not. I'm not going to get into it too much. Basically, it's extremely high risk, it's extremely high reward. Right now in my portfolio, I'm favoring XLM. If I do want to diversify into XRP, I want to wait for the uncertainty with the SEC lawsuit, and then look at the risk to reward ratio on that and potentially play it as a high risk, high reward. And it would, I would be using some of my XLM possibly to purchase XRP, because like I say before, it's all about competition, and right now, there's a lot of uncertainty with XRP, according to the mainstream. I get the whole arguments with everything. I really don't want to go into it. Other crypto teacher, they go over it a lot. I don't really want to get into it, but I want to wait for my strategy, for my risk to reward ratio. I'm in XLM right now as my cross-border payments diversification, because I have different dApps, I have different sectors that I diversify my portfolio into. That's what you're supposed to do when you're investing. You're supposed to diversify into different sectors in case one sector does really well that nobody was really expecting. So it diversifies your risk. You get that from stock market, but so I do have a small amount of XLM. I would. If XRP's lawsuit does well, if the market really starts favoring XRP, I might put a small amount of that money back into XRP, especially if it gets listed on exchanges, because then there's that competition again with XLM. Right now, I don't really see a lot of seeing $10 million. They're not going to be as comfortable in things like XRP. And I'm not saying that XRP is going to recover. It's not going to recover. I'm not going to talk about the lawsuit. I've covered it so many times, and at the end of the day, it really comes down to, It's not XRP is not a total crap coin, and XRP isn't associated with Ripple. I'm not going to talk about it too much, but no matter what happens with Ripple Labs, if you have XRP and you store it on your ledger, nobody can take that away from you, and it's the future. And I talked about XLM so much on this channel earlier, but it's like if I want to send you XRP, regardless of what happens with anything, if you have an XRP wallet, I can send you that lightning fast transaction, and nobody can take that away. So that technology is there; it's proven itself. Whatever happens to XRP's Ripple Labs doesn't like its behavior, it's whatever. I get they dump the coins. I get the whole story. I get that they also only dump the coins because, the founder is, the guy that the co-founder started XLM. I get the whole story. I don't want to get into it too much. But yeah, so that's my thing. I'm not touching XRP. We'll wait till after the lawsuit. I've already covered it so many times on this channel. I'm sorry if that isn't but I feel like that's a pretty good thing for like my risk to reward ratio with everything that I'm looking at. What's your thoughts on XRP? Okay, so Bitcoin Cash is a branch or whatever, just like Ethereum Classic. It's the same code as Bitcoin. It's a hard fork. They forked the code a little bit. They changed the code a little bit. The transaction speeds on Bitcoin Cash are a little bit faster, which a lot of noobs really think is like a good idea. And there is a lot of speculation on Bitcoin Cash that a lot of people go into the market. They see Bitcoin Cash. A lot of noobs get it. There's a lot of new people coming into the space. The coin could pump up. I don't buy crap coins. Like even like I'm like really tired right now. Sorry, but like it's not a good long-term hold. There's no real fundament. The difference between Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin is, well, first off, everybody's in Bitcoin. Everybody likes Bitcoin. Everybody favors Bitcoin. And the whole argument for like, well, what about Satoshi's vision, like SV and like all these other, Ethereum Classic, like what's the potential for all these? Well, if we keep making hard forks, then when are we going to stop making hard forks? So nobody does the hard forks. And when you look at Bitcoin Cash, well, you say, well, it has faster transaction speeds, which it does, than Bitcoin. But relatively speaking, Bitcoin's not supposed to be a means of transaction. It's supposed to be a store of wealth. So like, why would you use Bitcoin Cash when you can just use XRP or XLM or even Dash? And Dash is a Generation 1 cryptocurrency, and it's an OG coin. I think newer technologies came out. There's a lot better technology. I don't like Dash. That really big scammer, Palm Beach or whatever investing, talks about Dash. I'm not a fan of Dash. I think it's a crap coin. Could it pump? Yeah. I don't want to be stuck holding a bag. I'm not interested in looking at it at all. As far as Dash goes, I'd rather hold XLM. Oh, okay. Yeah, you gave me the ticker symbol. Thank you, guys. I presume the weekend will save BTC as we are the only game in town. Yeah, a lot of people say that. I like that a lot. Yeah, with the stock market. Yeah, but so I mean, it could be, for sure, but we'll see. You could definitely be right. I don't want to make any predictions. I'll just read the charts for you guys. What about the bounce off of the peak regression band and the history? Bitcoin hits the peak regression band and it's down from that band twice in a cycle. What do you think about that? Yeah, so you're talking about the coin. You're talking about the coin liquidity or something band. Let's go over that real quickly because I think a lot of my audience is going to really from that. So we'll go over that really quickly because I think people are just thinking that I'm arrogant and that I just know everything. But I really did take the time to really study all this stuff. And I'm just really tired right now and I've been streaming all day. So if it just seems like I'm just jumping to conclusions without like backing up like the TA and without, really backing everything up. So which one is it? It should be... It's just because I'm tired right now. It should be this one right here is what I believe you're talking about. Let's take a look at that for a second because I do think this would benefit the audience a lot. So yeah, you're talking about possibly this one right here where we have the pink. We break this band, we have a hyperbolic move, and then we head down. We break this band, we have a hyperbolic move, we break down. We hit this, we break down. So historically, we do hit this band right here, have a hyperbolic move, and then head down. I have a lot of thoughts on this, and I've covered it multiple times on the channel. I believe this is exactly what you're talking about. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe this is the exact chart that you're talking about. So, can we go full screen on this? You have to press the pan button. All right, and then zoom in. Pan. It's kind of annoying. It's whatever. All right, so we didn't exactly hit it, and we did have that correction, and this does tend to trend upwards. So we could we could trend, like we could consolidate, hit this area, like continue to consolidate before hitting this area. I don't think we're hitting 60,000 like in the next day or whatever. So this band's going to continue to go up. So there's a lot of people, and this is really where it gets toxic and why I have to come onto the space and really tell people, like, there's a lot of toxic talk in the space right now, and I just don't want to see people lose everything. And that's like a lot of reason why I came on the channel, so like I can really have like a discussion with people about Bitcoin and really, just not have every mainstream crap like be fed to everybody and all this hopium and all this crap. So a lot of people are saying that this cycle is different. It could be. It really could be. This cycle could be different. But when we look at the historical facts of this cycle, we would be going against history, and there's nothing to say that that's going to be the case, and it's speculation, and let's leave it at that to begin with. So, a lot of people are saying multiple things. A lot of people are saying that there possibly could not be cycles anymore. The markets could stop becoming cyclical. So a lot of times, like what people that are newer to the space that they don't really understand is that like in 2014 there was a massive run, and then there was a massive run again, and then in 2017 there was a massive run, and then there was a bear market, and right now we're in a bull market again. And according to cycles, we should at least hit 100,000, maybe 150, whatever. A lot of the experts in the space say 300, whatever, based off stock to flow models, whatever. We're not going to go into that. It takes a lot to go over all the fundamentals for that. But regardless, we're in a bull run right now. And what's the possibility that we don't end up in an entire bear market, or we just have a slight correction before? They're saying because of inflation. They're saying because of the stimulus packages. I did a huge video for 2 hours where I read off a bunch of the financial papers that I wrote, talking about the implications of negative interest rates and no reserve lending, because we used to be on a fractional reserve lending, and all the new economics that's going on and all the changing to the economy. There's nothing like it on the entire internet, and you'd learn a lot more. Like I said, you can't even go to university and learn that stuff because all these changes are so new. Like we used to be on for the longest time a fractional reserve system where it was 1 to 9 in the banking system, and they just recently this year changed it to a no reserve banking system. And I go over like the implications for all that. So trust me, I understand economics better than pretty much anybody. And like, it might sound cocky. Go watch that 2-hour video. That's just a basic introduction to advanced economics. And I don't even go over QT or QE, which is, I don't really go over quantitative tightening too much. Quantitative easing is, I cover that in a little bit. I cover a lot of stuff in that, and I really explain, how the economy works and what's going on with that. But so like, I understand the argument for asset inflation and the possibility that we enter into a super cycle. But it's very, very toxic to say that that's going to be the case, definitely. What I'm doing personally, and I think this is the best strategy, and I really do think this is the best strategy. I'm planning on selling about 50% of my Bitcoin when I think it's going to top out. Not at 100,000, but I have like a little scale of cost base averaging out. And then I have it scaled all the way out to 1 million. So if we do go into a super cycle, I will still have Bitcoin as we're going into it. So I'm not planning on like selling all of it at 300,000. I'm not planning on selling, because my belief system is, it's long term. And I mean, I got in really heavy at 10,000, and I don't know if we'll ever go back to 10,000. If we do, I'll just buy more. And so I don't have a problem, at least if it is cyclical, if it is a cycle, I don't have a problem selling half of my Bitcoin. And I'll make a video on it maybe tomorrow. I think that'll be huge, because I've never seen anything like it in the space. And I think this is like absolutely massive. And it's like, are we going into another cyclical market like we've seen historically, or are we going into a super trend? It's very, very, very toxic to say that we're just guaranteed going to go into a super trend. And if we go into a cycle like we have every single time since its inception, people are going to lose so much money buying in at the top, thinking that we're constantly going higher, buying at 100,000, 200,000. It's going to hurt a lot of people. And it's just very, very toxic. So what's my opinion on this? It has historical relevancy. It has a lot of historical relevancy. Like I said, we could definitely consolidate at these levels, push this price a little bit higher. You know, we could see something like maybe 65, something like that. We could breach this area, bounce off of it, you know, whatever. And like I said before, people can't really see like the behind the scenes. I spent like 2 hours, I think, on a video the other day talking about how Elon Musk was not not fighting the price of Bitcoin bad. Like, it wasn't bad. Like, Elon Musk was like, the price of Bitcoin is really high right now. He was doing that so that it consolidates, so that it corrects, so that we don't just have this blast off hyper parabolic cycle like a lot of people would expect. Like, he did that on purpose. Elon Musk and Bill Gates flooded the price on purpose, which I covered for 2 hours, all the different reasons behind that. And it worked, and we didn't hit this area right here. If we would have hit this area and broke through it, you know, we could have had a parabolic move up and the end to a cycle. But the fact that we're consolidating right now, it shows that, you know, there's a lot going on with the cycle, that we can continue going up. It gives a lot of breathing room for the moving averages to continue to move up. So when we do have the next bear market, if we do have a bear market, there's nothing saying that we're not going to have a bear market. Because you could also, that's the bullish argument. You could also make the case that inflation and the stimulus packages accelerated Bitcoin. You could absolutely make that point. So you have to look at both sides of it. You can't just be a moon boy all the time, and you can't just be, and I'm not bearish at all. I just don't want to see people get hurt. And I feel like the strategy that I use to cost base average out, which I guess I can make a video about. I've already talked about it, I think 2 or 3 times on this channel now. But it works for both areas. Either we have the super cycle, and if Bitcoin was to perfectly hit, everything has to go right for Bitcoin to hit $1 million this cycle. It's next to impossible. But my strategy, if Bitcoin does hit $1 million, like, I would be perfectly cost-based averaged out, and I would have sold at the absolute top. Do I think that's going to happen? I don't think that's going to happen. And it's like, well, what happens if that does happen? I'm not looking to get into USD. What I'm looking to do is diversify into different assets with different risk portfolios. So when you're talking about investing, this is called hustle, invest, repeat. You know, it's you know, like, for the people. It's like, you hustle, you make your money, you invest in, you repeat. That's how you're going to get wealthy. That's how you're going to, you know, successfully, you know, do whatever you're trying to do in finances. When you're talking about selling Bitcoin, you're talking about converting your asset. You're extremely undervalued, extremely high in demand, extremely for the importance of inflation. You're extremely rare, you know, anti-inflationary asset for USD, which, like I said, there's a double top on the DXY. So it's like, we know that the DXY is going to be one of the worst performing. Technically, people call it an asset. Technically, accountants put it on their balance sheet and on the asset column, and they have it, you know, their cash reserves. Obviously, I think Bitcoin is going to outperform the dollar. I'm not looking, when you're talking about sign, I don't want to go over it too much. Like I said, I've already been on this channel, I think, for 8 days today. I think I've streamed for 8 hours today. I really want to make this short, and I've already covered this multiple times. But it doesn't really make sense to sell your Bitcoin for US dollars right now. But as the price continues to go parabolic, you want to deleverage your risk in the asset and diversify into other assets, because at a certain point you're going to be like, okay, I've earned such a high ROI, return on investment, on Bitcoin, and you're going to be looking at other investments, a lot of other investments, as money's flowing into Bitcoin. You're going to look at the risk to reward ratio. Right now, the best risk to reward ratio, in my opinion, in finances is just Bitcoin. That's why I left real estate. That's why I left stocks, and I'm in Bitcoin right now. And people thought I was insane for that. And people laughed at me. They're like, you were doing so good in real estate. What happened? Why did you leave real estate? And the risk to reward ratio on Bitcoin was a no-brainer. And I talked about, you know, how ETH 2.0, like running a 32 Ethereum staking node, was going to be like real estate 2.0. And I made an entire video about that. And we're not going to get into that. But and people thought I was insane, but I was saying that when Bitcoin was 10,000. But my point is this. The risk to reward ratio, as we go up, we want to diversify into other asset classes. We know gold historically has been heavily manipulated. I've talked about this so much. I'm not going to talk about it right now. But, looking at the risk to reward ratios and looking at the return ratios on something like maybe Tesla stock, something like Google stock, real estate, getting leveraged on real estate, every asset class has risk to reward ratios. But as Bitcoin continues to go higher and higher, de-leveraging your risk in that associated asset class and taking profits, there's nothing wrong with that. So it's not necessarily that I'm looking to get out of assets. I'm not looking to sell my Bitcoin for a Ferrari. That doesn't interest me whatsoever. What I'm looking to do is looking realistically at the asset, and I'm looking, okay, well, what's the risk to reward ratio? And right now it's extremely favorable, at least at a hold, which is what I did. Like, I accumulated very heavily at 10,000, and I see it's a no-brainer to be holding this asset right now from a risk to reward standpoint. And then as we continue to go on into the cycle, I'm going to start looking at it, and I'm going to say, okay, well, I'm looking at the risk to reward ratio, and it's not as favorable. So I'm not necessarily selling my Bitcoin into USD. I'm deleveraging my risk. I'm deleveraging my risk from my Bitcoin asset and deleveraging it into other finite assets. And like I said, it's scaled out on my trading strategy to $1 million. So if Bitcoin hits $1 million, then I'll have all my Bitcoin sold at $1 million. And you're just like, but then you don't have any Bitcoin. Yeah, but then I would have like a lot of real estate, and I would have like a lot of stocks and gold and then those cash flowing assets. And I'm not selling my Cardano this. So I can sell my Bitcoin. That's fine. I'm not selling my Cardano. That's the kicker. I'm not selling my Cardano this cycle. I've talked about that a lot. I bought a lot of Cardano at 10 cents. Nobody's getting my Cardano. Nobody's getting my Cardano. That's being staked. Whether we have a bear market, whether we have a super cycle, I don't care. My Cardano is getting staked. But yeah, as far as my Bitcoin goes and my Bitcoin strategy, I'll scale it out to $1 million. And then that negates the idea of a super cycle. But to answer your question, yeah, I mean, we have to look at this. We have to look at the historical content. Right now, it's not really a concern. But if we do hit this and get rejected, it's not an issue. If we do break above this, it usually goes parabolic. We could see that parabolic curve be all the way to at least 100,000, which is up to date with what I've been saying for a long time on this channel. Let's see if we have any... Sorry, I just think that's a lot of people really want to know that information. So, I mean, I've covered it a lot on this channel, but that's what I think about the regression bands with Bitcoin's history. XRP is the most in the space. They are in bed with... I'm not going to cover it. Like, I see both sides. Like, I 100% agree with you. Like, when you say, oh, like, they're dumping it, there's all these problems with Ripple Labs, I get, like, all the stuff. And I get that, like, they say that, with XRP, like, yes, they have sponsorships, but they're getting paid for those, like, for people to use their coins, and they're getting paid to... I understand both sides. I really do. Like I said, like, extremely high risk, extremely high reward. I'm not really... Bitcoin analysis, Matic Network. So Matic Network, the layer 2 solution to Ethereum. What about the bounce off of the peak regression band? Comes down. Let me see. Let me read this a little bit better. What about the bounce off of the peak regression band? Yeah, and then hits the peak regression band, and it's down from there. It has never been hit twice in a cycle. What do you think about that? Yeah, that's interesting. So this is just one metric. This peak regression band is just one metric. And then we have like the logarithmic scale. We have stock to flow. So we do have to factor in all of these different charts. That's just one of the charts. And if we do hit it twice, I think that's fine. I think that it might even end like... I think if we hit it twice, I think if maybe I'm misunderstanding what you're saying, but I think what you're saying is if we hit it once and then we come down and we hit it again, what do you think would happen to that? I think it would be the same as, hitting it once, coming down, and we're not going hyperbolic. And then as soon as we do inevitably break that, unless we hit that double top on 31,000 or 32,000, which would end the cycle most likely, which I don't think is going to happen. I don't think anybody in the space thinks that's going to happen. But if there is a bottom, I will tell. Like if the cycle is over, we're not going to pretend that it's not. On this channel, we're going to go over the facts. Like that's next to impossible, but it's not like there are scenarios in the charts where this cycle does end, and nobody wants to cover that, but we will definitely cover that. But so yeah, I mean, obviously we were probably never going to go to that level right now. And if we do that, I think it's once we hit that, it's once we break that area right there, that's when we start to go parabolic historically. So yeah, it's never done that before, but that's what I would believe. I love XLM. The F2 miners are dumping as well. Yes, Bitcoin to 32. Omar, it might be if Bitcoin does go to 32. We'll see. It's not in the charts right now. We want to at least start breaking at least 38. If we don't break 38, then there's not really any technicals to back up that it's going to 32. If we don't break 38, and we're not at 38 right now. So, I mean, I can't. It could. I can only do TA. I don't think it is. Yeah, I mean, right now, according to all the TA I've looked at, but do you think BTC will be 100K like everyone says, or is it at the top? So yeah, I mean, I was going to medical school and I was doing all this cool stuff, and then I was looking into Bitcoin. I've been in Bitcoin for a long time. I've been involved in Bitcoin for a long time, but I was saying Bitcoin was going to go to 100,000 at 10,000. And I actually ended up dropping out of pharmacy school and trading and doing all these different things because I was so concerned about inflation. Because as a pharmacist, I would have been only making $140,000 a year after inflation, with the DXY possibly dropping 30% or whatever. So I looked at everything in the beginning, and I mean, I have videos talking about Bitcoin hitting 50K and measured moves, and Cardano, I said it was going to be the best cryptocurrency in the space on nothing, we called that, but like I said, I've been calling 100K since the beginning. I think that 100K is a huge psychological barrier. So in technical analysis, we have these huge fundamental levels 20,000. I think 100,000 is going to be an absolutely massive psychological barrier. So what you could definitely see is you could see the price action come up, hit 100K, come down a little bit, maybe to 70,000, and then potentially move higher. But I think it's at least going to hit 100K, or maybe people sell right at 94, but I think it will eventually hit 100, and then I think there will be a huge correction because it is a psychological or is the top end. So yeah, I covered it quite a bit, but that's what I think. Bingo on Musk. Yeah, I got you. We know what's up. Don't think we don't know what's up. We got their little stuff. What if you bought Ethereum at 600? What if you bought Ethereum at 600? Would you TP tap? What TP? What is TP? I feel like I know what TP is, but I don't know what TP is right now. It's late where I'm at. I'm using that as an excuse. It's 1 a.m. where I'm at. What's TP? TP? Top? I don't know. I don't know what TP means. Yeah, I don't know. But bingo on Elon Musk. Thanks for your TA and your knowledge. I'm off to work. Let's go, baby. Kill that stuff. Remember, hustle, invest, repeat. How long is a cycle usually? So you usually have a 3-year bear market, maybe a 1-year pump usually, and then that's the 4-year cycle. But it hasn't been. There's been different measurement. So that's usually like they call it the 4-year cycle, usually like a 3-year bear market, usually a 1-year moving up. But it depends on the cycle, and there's like been 2014. They've all been different. The only thing that we can really know from the cycles is that, as the cycles, like the beginning cycles, when we went from like zero to like when we went from like $1 to $100, like all we know really from the cycles, like the timing isn't like as perfect as people think it is. It's not concisely like three years to one. That was really mostly just the last cycle, and a lot of people got in at 2017, so they're talking about that. But there's been much shorter cycles. There's been much longer cycles, like 2017. So the cycle times are different. So historically, we can't really say historically because they're not all like perfectly timed out. But what we can say about the cycles is we usually do have more parabolic moves in the beginning, and the gains tend to tamper off. So this cycle, last cycle, I believe we went from 1,000 to 20,000. So that was a 20x. And right now we went from like, it depends on how you want to measure it. I guess we went from 3,000. I really think the beginning of the cycle was like around 16 or 10. And so if you go from like 10, like a 10, 11 area, which I really think it was, because we had all that scare and consolidation with the CME at 9,800 for a little bit. It would be like a 10x. So all we really know with the cycles is that we have bull markets, we have bear markets, and the gains seem to be less and less each cycle. TA on ADA, I got you. Is it going down? Should I wait to buy back in? Bitcoin going up again. Now it will never go down again. I want to buy Matic Network. Yeah, let me go. Sorry, I've been just like a little bit of like, I guess I was talking and answering questions, but I'm just a little tired. But I'm definitely so what's going on with Bitcoin? Yeah, like I said, we were going to get this bounce. We hit this level precisely. We were going to get this bounce. I mean, we can hit it with a Fibonacci. I know that like people are a little bit scared right now, so that's fine. We can hit it with a Fibonacci for a second. So obviously we're not going to use a retracement. We use a trend base. So if you're a little bit newer to our TA, like not RTA, but like if you're a little bit newer to TA, each tool you might have seen people use a lot of times the Fibonacci retracement tool, and then the inverse to the Fibonacci retracement tool is this tool right here called the Fibonacci trend base, and it's a very good area of looking at. You use the Fibonacci retracement to find blow off tops and retracement levels. On this, you look at the retracement levels of as you're going down in price. So this is on you really got to take this with perspective. This is on the 4-hour, and this is just the swing low to swing high in the immediate short term. So even hitting this area, and it looks like we got rejected right here, and we might be moving lower. But even coming up to this level right here and then bouncing lower is definitely still in the cards. So I mean, like I said before, you get the price action come up, people have longs here, people have limit orders here, the price action spikes up, and then it continues lower. Like I said, we could easily hit this level right here and comfortably continue lower. Let me see if I answered a lot of good questions. Yeah, so, and then ADA. So, I mean, this is cracking the chart that I'm pulling up. So, like, there's going to be scam wicks. Oh, wow. Exactly as predicted. I'm so tired, and I'm so bad at his accent. And it looks like we just broke that. So, yeah, I mean, it hits these areas, it bounces, and that was a key level that we were looking at. We have a lot more TA on this. I don't know. Is this just on the 15 is why it's looking so? We have a lot of TA on. I went to Buffalo Wild Wings, and I was just spent like maybe an hour charting this chart out. So we should definitely have more technical analysis on ADA. I know if you're newer to the space, you're like, what is that crap? Alright, so let's see how we're looking right now. We're in this major Fibonacci golden pocket area right here. We're slightly below this one right here, this major one right here, this one right here in the relative short term. So it looks like we're consolidating in this area right here that you clearly see. You see price action come up, come all the way down. It looks like, you know, it come down, but it looks like we're in this area right here. It's going to start looking bearish. Oh, did it bounce off this one perfectly? No, it didn't. I was thinking it bounced off this one perfectly. But it looks like, you know, if the price action continues to go down, which it looks like it will, we're going to start to get some bearish candlesticks. And on all the Fibonacci retracements, it looks like we're going to have... if you're not familiar with technical analysis, basically what I did is I took all the critical areas of... I don't want to explain too much. I'm so tired, but this is accurate. This is like, it looks like crazy, but it's actually important, and I'm not insane. And this is actually how you do technical analysis from like, this is just really easy to look at. So if we do come, I'm so tired. If we do come down to this level right here and close below this on the 4 hour, this level right here, it's going to be bearish on like any metric in the medium to short term. And then it looks like, again, this I believe is definitely a scam wick right here. But on the higher time frames on this Fibonacci, so these are all relative, you know, swing low to swing high on different metrics that a lot of people are looking at. But in the short term, if we do go below this level right here, we're going to be below all the Fibonacci retracements. And if we do get it close, we could definitely start moving lower. This is a double top right here, so definitely pay attention to this double top right here. We're going to get the measured move on that in a second. Let's see, use that. I'm not going to draw it with the candle, with the paintbrush, because I already did like outline, you know, right here, and then the neckline for it is going to be right here. So we're going to take the measurement from the neckline, and then we're going to take from candle bodies. So you can do candle wicks, but we always like to be conservative. And, you know, over a long period of time, what we've seen is that the candle bodies seem to be historically more accurate. This measured move would get us down to 64 cents. If it does break this area right here, it does have the potential to play out. You know, obviously take profits would be like at this level right here, at this level right here, at this level right here for shorters. And we could definitely possibly cost-based average in, you know, between something like this, something like this, something like this, something like this, and then potentially something like this. And then oh, and we do have this fairly substantial a Fibonacci extension on a major move right here. Now, do I think it's going to hit 64 cents on the measured move? Oh my gosh, I hope so. I don't think it will, because there's so little liquidity. There's so much staking going on in ADA. There's only so much available on exchanges because most of it's staked, and it's extremely high demand. I hope so. It hits 64 cents. Oh my gosh. I got a lot of money that I have on the sidelines for if it hits 64 cents. I'll go all in. If it hits 60 cents, I will cost-based average in, and then I'll take out another loan. And I don't recommend doing that. I'm just telling you guys on the channel what I do. And so I take out loans quite a bit, and they're all paid off or whatever. Like, I don't recommend that to anybody. You know, I spend all day looking at these charts, and I've called every single top and bottom. Most people are not going to be on that level, so like I'm not recommending anybody take out a loan. I think it's important for people like me that, you know, you guys are on this channel because you're looking for what I'm doing, my interpretations, things like that, and I just want to be transparent and tell you guys if we went below 60 cents on ADA, I would look to get another loan. and borrow money to buy more of it, because I would dump in all my money at 60 cents and then I would take out a loan to buy more. And a loan's just like it increases your risk, your exposure to the asset. It's a tool used to, if you haven't read Rich Dad Poor Dad, I highly recommend you read Rich Dad Poor Dad. It's like ultra basic. And then I did that video on hyperinflationary depression, economics, and I wrote a financial paper on the basics for good debt. And if you don't understand good debt and accumulating assets with debt as opposed to liabilities, and like I don't want to go into it too much, but I'm just telling you guys what I would do, because a lot of you guys want to know, well, what would happen if it goes below 60 cents. I highly doubt it would, but I would take out another loan. Although, like I said, I took out a loan before on ADA, and we already were profitable on that. So yeah. But I mean, fiat's just so cheap right now, and you're getting all these massive assets, and it's just a tool to accumulate more assets. So I don't really want to go over it. I'm not recommending anybody take out a loan. And it's really hard to get loans. Like, you have to like go to the bank and whatever. That's why I like DeFi so much, because if I have enough DeFi tokens, like enough compound, I don't have to ask anybody for a loan. I can just use my compound as collateral and take out loans with that. And I can do that almost instantly. Doing wire transfers and stuff like that takes time, and sometimes I miss the dumps, unfortunately. Is it still going down? Should I wait to buy back in? I guess I can go over it again in a second. I know I already answered it. BTC going back up again. And then Matic, yeah, so we already answered that. What do you think about Ethereum? I've already talked about it a lot. I guess I'll go over it for a second. Really what you want to look at, and what I've been looking at, is we can go over this chart for a second. I'm so tired. I go over Ethereum all day. I like talking about Ethereum all day. And I have so many opinions on it. And I think over the long term, I think Cardano is going to do much better. There's a lot of what people call speculation in the space with Cardano, because they say that there's no dApps, decentralized applications, being built on Cardano, because the mainnet and Goguen hasn't fully launched yet. They're working on that programmable logic stage 3. We left Shelly. We're in Goguen, and it's going to happen soon, and we've hit everything on the roadmap. Everything's looking really good. It's going to happen. It's inevitable. Everybody from Ethereum, like 73% of like Ethereum dApps want to move over to Cardano. Cardano is definitely going to kill it in the long run. I think this is ETH cycle, though. I still think this is ETH cycle. When you look at BTC, we'll go over this chart really quick. I really wish I had more energy to talk about it, but the thing that everybody says about Ethereum, and what brings a lot of confidence to investors. So yeah, it looks like we did hit this area and we're moving down lower. So I've been covering this for a long time. This is the reason Ethereum keeps going down. It's because when we look at these graphs right here, it's constantly in this ginormous downtrend, which nobody in the space seems to have any clue about. Except for our channel, and I've been charting it out for a while, and there's this giant megaphone. So this is what we're looking at. This is why Ethereum's been underperforming so massively. It looks like we could move down, hit this measured target again, and then potentially, if we did hit this level, it's possible. I don't think it will. This would definitely be a stop right here before, but if we did hit this level and then have a hyperbolic cycle, I think this is the area because when you think about big investors, when you're thinking about like developed space, like when you're thinking about what you would say, what do you call it? There's tangibility on the Ethereum network. So I've talked about this a lot. Let me just go over it for a second. There's decentralized dApps on Ethereum that work. Like you have Uniswap, you have all the different ERC tokens, Basic Attention Token, Ocean Protocol. You guys know that there's a massive amount of dApps built onto Ethereum. So that in and of itself gives it value. Yes, there's high gas fees. As I go over the bullish argument for Ethereum and Bitcoin. So oh my gosh, this is going to take forever. I go over this so much. So as people go over to Cardano, as Cardano's mainnet launches, it's going to put less stress. It's going to put less congestion on the Ethereum network. and because of that, it's going to be lower gas fees. The reason that the gas fees are so hot, the reason the gas fees are so high right now is because a lot of people, I can't talk. It's been like, I've been talking for like 10 hours straight today. I'm not even capping. Because the gas fees are so high right now is because of all the congestion. This is really one of the only decentralized dApps that's really being used right now, like the platform that's being used right now. Once Cardano gets launched, a lot of that network, a lot of that congestion, a lot of these guys are going to move over to Cardano. So there's going to be more when you're paying these high Ethereum gas fees, what you're doing is you're basically incentivizing the network to choose your transaction based off of monetary incentive. So usually, like, because there's so many different people and the network's so congested and overloaded, you have to pay a lot of money to do these transaction fees, and it's because it's so congested. But as Cardano releases, it's going to be less congested. And then what a lot of people less know about, what a lot of people don't know about as much, is Ethereum 2.0, we released the 0.0. You know, we're working on Ethereum 2.0, but it's not fully launched. We started the process of launching Ethereum 2.0, and so there's still Ethereum miners. There's still Ethereum miners, and there also is, you know, the 32 ETH and, you know, the testing, and, you know, we're working on, you know, the beginnings for ETH 2.0, which is the staking. But a lot of people think that we've fully transitioned from ETH 2.0. We've transitioned from ETH mining, proof of work, all the way over to ETH staking. That's not true. We're working our way over there right now, but we're not entirely over there right now. So ETH 2.0 isn't fully developed. So when people say to me like, oh, well, Cardano, you know, isn't fully developed, it hasn't launched its mainnet and, you know, got in all its dApps or whatever, ETH isn't fully developed either, but it does have that tangibility. It does have those dApps on it. And as ETH 2.0 fully actualizes, and, you know, there's speculation on the dates for that, there's going to be more decentralization. There's going to be a lot more decentralization. There's going to be a lot more scaling, and there's going to be a lot more, decentralization and scaling, which is its main, you know, issues. And so there's going to be a lot less gas fees. And then it is a pretty high barrier to entry, 32 ETH. But I think Coinbase, like they said, they were going to offer the ability to stake through them, through a third party. So a lot of people are going to be uploading their Ethereum to Coinbase. And I think you can get on a waiting list for that on Coinbase, but I haven't seen the, I was looking into that. I didn't see the whole thing on that yet. Like, I looked into it. I didn't see anywhere where it showed, like, where I could get on the wait list to stake my Ethereum on Coinbase. But, you know, and it is pretty risky right now to stake. I was thinking about running a 32 ETH node, and then I advised myself against it, and I'm looking at running a Cardano node in the future, because it looks like it's just going to be for a long-term perspective, it's going to be too risky to get into it or whatever at the higher prices, because I think it's going to come back down to these levels maybe it comes down to like $2 in the bear market. I'll look to accumulate more of it back down there. But for the long term, I'm not looking for a quick flip on Cardano. So, but anyways, I was looking at doing a 32 Ethereum staking node. I advised myself against it, but it's a very high barrier to entry. But the fact that, you know, you have Coinbase, there's going to be a lot of people use Coinbase, and a lot of new people are coming into the space. And so there's going to be they're going to stake it on a third party. So it's going to be very decentralized. It's going to be very scalable. There's going to be a lot more computers. There's going to be a lot more nodes. And there's going to be a lot less traffic, because a lot of that traffic is going to go over to Cardano. And so the future of ETH is good. I think that this is the really good parabolic run for ETH. And the fundamentals are still strong. Don't let anybody fool you. Don't sell, you know, your ETH for pennies on the dollar, you know, and FUD out of the project. It is a good project. Talk to any developer that knows what they're talking about. If anybody's saying that, you know, ETH, they're just looking at the price, seeing it's going down, and it's because of the technicals that we're looking at on the charts, which we've been covering for a long time. But the fundamentals on ETH are very strong, and they will to continue to be strong. And although Cardano is doing well, very well, and I've read a lot of their papers, and they published 100 plus peer-to-peer review papers. They're brilliant. I like everything they're doing. I'm not going to go over that right now. And even though I love Cardano, there is room for Ethereum, and Cardano are still both underdeveloped, and there is speculation on both of them, and so ETH is definitely undervalued. I just have a lot of ETH. I'm already very exposed to ETH. I'm looking for either this bottom or this bottom right here, and then possibly a parabolic blast off. I think this is ETH cycle. Jeez. I don't know what's going to go. Hopefully I can talk to you guys tomorrow on live because I'm planning on streaming all day tomorrow. So I do think ETH is going to do well. Don't sell your ETH. Like, the reason that everybody's missing is because it's in a downtrend right here. Eventually, it will find a bottom, even if it is possibly at this level. I don't think it will be, but if it is at this level right here, it'll bounce and get a hyperbolic run. I've been covering this for a long time, and I'll continue to cover it and keep you guys updated on it, and my audience really likes that. So I mean, we did get rejected right here. I told my audience, I said, if we don't get rejected right here and we continue to move up and break above this golden pocket, we could look at reversing out of this downtrend and start that parabolic run. I told them that didn't happen, and we can start looking at cost-based averaging in to possibly some Ethereum positions, maybe right here at the absolute minimum. But like I said, I wanted to see a bounce. I'll cover it all tomorrow. Let's see if there's anything else, any more comments. All right, yeah, so yeah, we're looking good. What do you think about Ethereum? So yeah, that's my plan. Like, I'm already heavily exposed to Bitcoin. I'm already heavily exposed to ADA. I'm already heavily exposed to Ethereum, but I like all of them as long-term holds. I'm looking at this cycle. This is kind of my big play. I'm looking at this cycle, and I've been talking about this for a long time. I think Ethereum is going to go parabolic, and as it goes parabolic and we really start to curve out on that parabolic run, I'm going to be switching my Ethereum over to Cardano and taking a big look at that Ethereum to Cardano price chart and really looking at cost-based averaging, because like I said again, I do think that this is Ethereum's really big run right here, and historically Ethereum has always outperformed Bitcoin. It's just underperforming it currently because of that downtrend and all the technicals that we went over, that I've gone over a lot of times on the charts. But as soon as it does hit that parabolic move, it should continue to outperform. And I do like the risk to reward ratio on Ethereum, which I've talked about a lot of times. I really like the risk to reward ratio on ADA, but it is in price discovery. But so anyways, that's a lot of it. So like, I'm not really looking at selling. I'm probably looking at selling a little bit of Ethereum this cycle. I'm mostly looking at converting it to ADA, as I think Ethereum is going to hit a parabolic cycle, and as that tops out, I'm going to be pouring my money into ADA, and then because I think ADA could, I don't know, it's in price discovery. It was a good buy at 10 cents, and I think this might be the last opportunity. Let me look at Bitcoin really quick. I gotta take this off. People always ask me about this. I was in psychology. I took a lot of psychology classes in college. Yeah, I'm a Marine, but I gotta take that off. I was doing a report one time for college, and this is just on my browser for a psychopathology class, which is just one of the classes I was taking in college. Let's see. So let's take a look at Bitcoin really quick, because I know a lot of people are newer to the stream, and they're like, "Why? What is that? Were you in war or something?" I've never been to Afghanistan. And my dad was military, but he's not. I was doing a report for psychology. A lot of people ask about that. That's what that's about. Yeah. So we're just really consolidating at this level, but we constantly see it as this idea is the price action comes down, comes up, and then it comes down again. Comes up, comes down. I'm expecting I'm expecting it to go down, continue to go down. This is a pretty bearish candlestick, and the fact that we just found a little bit of support right here doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. Even at this consolidation level right here, like this candlestick formation, it's not bullish. Like if we get a candlestick right here, it looks like it's going to hold it right here, and this would be more retro bearish. So I mean, there's nothing really on the chart showing me that. And isn't on the 4 hour, don't we have, why are the moving averages off? I probably turned them off earlier. I'm so tired, I don't even remember. Don't we have death cross potentially coming in? Maybe that was on Ethereum, but Ethereum's price could. Oh, so yeah, you have this cross right here. So this is a bearish cross of the 20 and the 50. So you do have this bearish cross coming in right here on the 20 EMA and the 50 EMA. So if we do get this cross right here, price action will continue. And like I said before, this is like at the very least a consolidation pattern. If we were to break through these levels, which I don't think is going to happen, we would most likely find this area as resistance, consolidate. This is going to give this area plenty of time. This is on the 4 hour, but this should give it plenty of time to enact this bearish cross, which is relatively substantial. It is on the 4 hour, and it is the 20 and the 50. So, I mean, take it with the relevancy that it is. And it should initiate breaking this area right here. Once we get this dump, we should continue down. Or once we get this, you know, if we continue to consolidate at these levels, I don't think we will. I think we will. Did we hit this moving average perfectly? So this is bullish, like in the immediate short term, relatively speaking. So we did come up, find support right here. We did come up, find support right here. But, I mean, don't get long squeezed. So right now we're really dealing with this level right here. We're dealing with this level right here. And then obviously this is major resistance right here because we hit it one time, and then had a bearish confirmation. So really, like when you zoom out on the macro charts, what you're looking at right now is you have, we'll put this right here. We'll make it green. Put this right here. Make it red. Or no, let's do the other way around. Yeah, I like that a lot more. So this is really the this is currently the support, and this is currently the resistance. So this is the support. We could bounce lower and break the support and bounce lower. We could break this area, break the support, and bounce higher. I've already talked about it. We're most likely going to, but we did find support on this 200 EMA on the 4 hour. But like I said before, I think we're just consolidating. Best case scenario for the bulls, we come up here. Best case scenario, we come up for right here. That's going to take a while, and I think that we'll get that dump. And at the very least, it'll bring us down to this level again before moving higher. And maybe we could get a double bottom, consolidate up, and break the neckline. I don't really see a bullish case for this. But that would be the bullish case. But yeah, so we're looking at that. That's going to be huge. And if this happens and then we have this bearish engulfing, just about entirely, I mean, there is a wick on it, but just about entirely bearish engulfing. And then if we do get that daily candlestick close, let's take a look at the daily for a second. So, I mean, yeah, the daily is not looking good. If we do get a daily close right here, that's not necessarily going to be good. It is against this Fibonacci area right here, which is not good whatsoever. So, I mean, definitely the daily candlestick would push the price action down also. All right, let me see if there's any more questions, and then I'm going to go. I'm going to be on all day tomorrow. I streamed for like 8 hours today. I called the dump. I've called all 4 dumps. We've covered all the price action. We covered like multiple bottoms, multiple tops, like today alone. It's already been rejected, BTC. Yeah, oh, it already has been rejected on that area that you were talking about. Yeah, so we could definitely, so it does get rejected, and we could reject it twice. There's no problem with that. I don't see an issue with that whatsoever. It's not, because you really have to think about the fundamentals. And as a technical analyst, it's very important to understand fundamentals and TA and when they interact with each other. So when you look at the supply shock, when you look at the fact that, like Google and Amazon and all these people and micro sailors buying a lot, and like when you look at the like liquidity of it, and when you look at, the new stimulus packages being proposed and whatnot, those are obviously going to have massive implications. We could definitely hit it twice and then break above it. The other thing is, who's to even say that we get rejected? Like, if we've already been rejected one time, who's to say that we're not just going to break through it the next time and then hit that by parabolic curve, and then to anybody's point, we could possibly. It does seem like a lot of the bigger entities are trying to slow down the price of it so that we do get a longer cycle, which is because, like I said before, I spent 2 hours explaining it. It doesn't look good on Tesla's balance sheet if we have a massive parabolic. Like I was explaining that on the charts. I was explaining that if we do hit that area right there, we get that massive parabolic run up, which we were going to have until Elon and Bill Gates fudded the price. If we were just going to get that parabolic run up and then that parabolic crash, with that being on Elon Musk's balance sheet, that wouldn't look very good for his company. So the fact that he fudded the price and it looks like we're going to have a more sustained cycle. I think this is more so anything. I wouldn't really get too hung up with that level as far as like getting rejected off of it and whatnot, because it's more so just like, let's take a quick look at it really quick. It's the MA, so it's really just, from historical context, like you were saying. It's an MA 700, and it's a moving average. So this is a 2-year MA, so MA is moving average, and then it's the 730-day moving average. So the average price of the last 730 days. So it's not substantial. It just has a big historical context. So we could, it's not like it's the 50-day. It's not like it has, the TA fundamentals. It's just a really good indicator that once we break that line, we usually go parabolic, is my point. What I was saying, if you bought ETH at 7 or 600 or 7, would you take profits? Do you think we could get back to 700 on ETH? I was saying we got rejected at 46, bud. Maybe. We'll see. Do I think we can go back to 600 to 700 on ETH? So again, it comes down to fundamentals on something like that. A lot of people are like, I want to get into Ethereum staking nodes, and Ethereum's looking so undervalued. I think if we were to get anything even close to 900, I think there would be a lot of people that are starting up these companies that are trying to start up staking nodes. You need 32 Ethereum, which was a lot of the reason why we got a lot of this run to begin with, was a lot of people were tying down their money into Ethereum staking to begin with, and we saw a big supply shock and we saw a massive price appreciation. I think if we were to go down to something like $9,000, $1,000 on ETH, which would be an extremely bearish target. I was looking at the what was it, the 1200 or 1276 level to 1208 specifically. And then it just depends. I have a lot of charts that we need to look at. We would need to take a look at the BTC to ETH comparative to see how price action is interacting with the king, the Bitcoin, and see, is ETH going to massively underperform Bitcoin? And if that was the case, if the chart was really to go strong going down, maybe we could see something like crazy, like maybe around the 9,600 to 700. I don't think we're going to go to, but finance is a lot more complicated than just hitting your 600 to 700 cost-based average, because you also have to factor in time and a lot of other stuff. So I mean, I really wouldn't matter about this. Like if we were to hit those areas, obviously it's a good asset. I would just accumulate more of it. I mean, if you made the financial decision, like I said, I was going to school to be a doctor, not a financial advisor, but so I don't have the credentials for that, like whatever, so But if you're making the appraisal that you're willing to buy at 600 and 700, if it was to go back to those levels, you would want to accumulate more of it, right? Like if you thought that it was a good level at 600, 700, you would think you would want to buy more of it. So you don't think we will see $600 ETH. So when you crack down the technicals and the fundamentals on the fact that a lot of people are racing to get 32 ETH and a lot of people missed because of the parabolic cycle, and then when you talk about the fundamentals and the technical analysis, so you look at those two, it doesn't seem that that's even close to likely. That'd be extremely bearish, and I mean it's possible. It's not. It's extremely unlikely. But yeah, I was saying we got rejected at 36, buddy. Maybe. I don't know. I've been looking at the charts all day, but I haven't seen it in a second. Buddy boy. Little Wayne. All right, let's see. Let's take a look at BTC. And then I'm going to go. I don't know what we got rejected at 46 means, though. Maybe we got rejected at 46. I don't know what that really means. So let's take a look at 46. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what that means. We hit this area right here and we got rejected at 47. Like we hit this as resistance and then we came down and we found this as support. Maybe we go to the different time frame. I mean, it doesn't really matter. I already covered the TA on it. But yeah, so that's my TA on it, not financial advice. It popped above it right after I typed that. Yeah, I got you. No problem. But yeah, I'll be on tomorrow. Hopefully my voice isn't lost. I would cover everything more, but I think at this point we probably streamed like, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but I think we streamed like 9 hours today alone. And then in between that, I was talking to my girlfriend and talking to the boys at the gym. And so my voice is just like, all right. So anyways, like we're a smaller channel, so just turn on post notifications so you get notified when I'm constantly updating you guys. Just so you like don't lose the channel. I think Bitcoin will recommend it in the search because you've already looked at it. But either way, just so you don't so that you're constantly updated. I'll constantly update you. I'm going to be streaming like all day tomorrow. So keep an eye out on that. And we're going to be going over a lot tomorrow. Hopefully, I'm probably going to have to take breaks like every 2 hours. So I'm probably going to be streaming for 2 hours, taking a break for an hour, streaming for 2 hours, taking a break for an hour, streaming for 2 hours because of my voice. Yeah, so... but that's most likely going to be, and we're going to cover Bitcoin, BTC.D. We're going to cover everything, and then all the altcoins, but yeah, that's everything on Bitcoin. Kept you guys updated, and we called like all the dumps, we called all the pumps, we called all the bottoms. We're freaking killing it. So huge congratulations. Thanks to everybody for supporting the channel. I really, really, really do appreciate it. And I do care about everybody. And like I said, I really do like the comments. So like the structure of the videos are always going to be, I'm going to go over like all the stuff you need to know. That's what I always go over. I always go over what you need to know in cryptocurrency, whether that's looking at the Bitcoin charts, the Cardano charts, whatever the thing is. I'm going to be going over what you need to know. And then I want questions. I want to interact with you guys. I want to help you guys out. I want to see what you guys are interested in. And hopefully, you know, it's some of those larger cap coins, or it's one of those like Matic is a good one, or you know, like Refinance, or some of these bigger coins that, you know, everybody in the space is really interested in. And then yeah, I can go over those charts if you're looking at those. So again, you know, we go over the agenda, we go over what you need to know in cryptocurrency. We constantly update you on it. On the hours, and then we answer questions. So ask questions while I'm going over the TA, and then I'll come back into the comments right after I'm done telling you guys everything you need to know that I have to get out of the way right away. And then we'll go over questions, and then we'll go back into Bitcoin. So if you come on a stream tomorrow and I'm not talking about Bitcoin or total market cap or Bitcoin dominance or something like that, it's going to be because I always cover Bitcoin multiple times, and then I'll cycle in between those higher altcoins. I'll cycle in between what's going on with Bitcoin dominance. I'll cycle in between what's going on with crypto market cap. I go over all that, and then we answer questions and we keep cycling. So, and that's going to be the schedule for tomorrow. So We freaking killed it today with all those calls. Congratulations to all my subs. I love all you guys, and like I said, I love interacting with you guys. So make sure you ask questions, and if you have, and it doesn't necessarily have to be about technical analysis. Like, I'm a very big crypto guy, as you could probably tell. So like, if it's like, oh, so like, what's valuable about Bitcoin, or like, how does Ethereum staking work, or whatever the question. If you have a question, I really do want to help you, and I'll cover it really quick at the very least. If we have a lot of questions, it's no problem whatsoever for me to take 2 to 3 seconds to help you out and answer any questions that you have. So with that being said, that's gonna do it for tonight. I'll be on tomorrow all day, as long as my voice isn't wrecked. And even if my voice is wrecked, you'll see me for a little bit. So, yeah, good night, guys. Literally, like, I was hyped when we called all those calls. That was